to the Select Board meeting. Please rise with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, thank you all for coming tonight. I do have a couple of things that I want to say. The first thing is that as EMD, not as chair of the Select Board, we've been invited for a VY tour. I believe you've received my emails. I've got 3 back that, well, possible 4, possible 5. Josh, are you interested in going?
His name's Jeff.
Josh wants to go, so do you want to go?
I've been referred to it.
Okay. All right. And I'd like to say I want to thank the Planning Commission for a great job putting on a very informative forum last week. It was good, so good to see everybody and so many people. It was a great turnout. The handouts were made up. The handouts that were made up and the slideshow made for a very interesting meeting. Matter of fact, more interesting than of a meeting that I've been to in a long while. Anyway, I appreciated every Vernon resident that spoke on any subject or on their views, and their views are that important. We learn from each other. Some of us are adamantly for a gas plant, and some of us are strongly against it. Either way you feel is okay, and you have a constitutional right to your own opinion. And I, for one, respect that. My hope is that we remember when we talk to our neighbors who either may or may not be of the same opinion as our own, let's agree to disagree. And at night, when the day is over, we stay friends, neighbors, and the strong community that we are. Again, I want to thank Bob Spencer, Janet Rasmussen, Martin Langveld, Patty O'Donnell, Matty Arms, Brent Morrison, and Jeff Dunkley for a job well done. Thank you very much. That's all I have to say on that. Yes, thank you. Could we have a moment of silence for all the lives lost in Paris, France, please? Thank you very much. Open public comments. Does anybody have anything? If not, we're going to move right along. We have a long agenda. I have a few additions to the agenda. There they are. Found my notes. We have a cemetery deed that we need to sign. We'll put that under new business. And a request for extra sign-out keys for the police door for the town clerk's office. We'll put that under new business. Library, Girl Scouts, town office, a giving tree, and that should go under new business as well. And is there anybody else that has anything? Sandy?
I have personnel, executive session for personnel matters and contractual.
And you don't mind that being put on way at the end?
That's okay.
And that's probably new business, yes?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be tonight, because we're gonna put it way in the end.
Way in the end.
Okay. I need a motion to allow these onto the agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded to add to the agenda, all under new business, cemetery deed, sign out keys, library / Girl Scouts / town office, and personnel contractual. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right, we have some guests tonight. Kristen and R.T. Brown. Would you come up to the table, please?
Okay, Adam and Noel, I'm gonna join them as well.
Please, grab a chair, extra chair.
Yep.
Thank you, Bronna. Let us introduce ourselves, and then we appreciate if you introduce yourselves.
I'm Josh Unruh. Jeff Dunkley.
Chris Howe?
Emily Bergobi.
Sandy Harris.
Katrina Lawley.
I'm R.T. Brown.
I'm Kristen Mihalik.
And Adam Kroll. So thank you for having us here tonight, for this opportunity.
Thank you.
RT is the program manager for the Windham County Economic Development Program, which he'll speak briefly on tonight. And Kristen has joined the SeVEDS team as the project manager for SeVEDS.
Very
So
good.
we're making
Welcome.
thank you.
Thank you.
We are making our way around the county, talking to folks, answering questions about what SeVEDS is and what we're doing. So you have in front of you a book that is our 2016 work plan. So details all of the work both in the past and going forward. And then we also have one sheet which talks about our young professionals events upcoming. So that's an area that's really growing in popularity. So if there's folks who are in the community who are not part of that and are under the age of 45, you qualify for young professionals. So they're doing a lot of social activities as well as networking and just talking about the themes that are important to the young professionals, trying to find a way to live here in southern Vermont. So this document explains our workforce program. And if I will briefly go through this. I know time is limited. So this explains what we're doing for the workforce development. In the center, you see the circle, the existing Windham Region workforce system projects. And then we're trying to retain and cultivate our students, so that one of the things that we all know is that we're facing a challenge with not enough workforce. So how do we supply that needed workforce? We've identified retaining and keeping the youth here. So we have specific programs that will do that, as well as recruiting. So we're going to be bringing more people here. One of the things we hear so much about is the challenge of the trailing spouse. You know, one person can come, but when the spouse looks for work, there isn't two professional jobs for those people to relocate. So we feel really expanding that to all of southern Vermont and making sure that our job boards listing includes the entire region. So there's more likelihood that the couple, one person's coming to relocate, looks at an area hospital, and the spouse wants to find a similar position, but there's only one there. If they're looking at all of southern Vermont, there's going to be more opportunity. So that's an area that we're really focused on. And then we have some other programs that we're really excited about working within the school systems. So eventually we're going to be building this out to a pre-K through 20. Right now we have our internship program, and then we're also working in the high schools to bridge what we see as a gap between the businesses and the schools. Right now, that gap is not being filled with an understanding of what's needed for the students to come into those existing businesses. So both of those bodies are too busy to really get together, and we're finding a good support with identifying ourselves as the group who can convene the people to have those conversations. So we're really excited about those opportunities. So with that, I'm going to pause and answer any questions that you may have, and then let RT speak on the Windham County Economic Development Program.
Sandy? Emily?
Josh?
So what we're doing tonight is, what we're doing in many communities throughout the county is going around and sharing this information. And of course, asking you for municipal funding for us to be able to continue this work. And with each community has a different way of doing that, so we will look for your guidance on the best way to proceed with that.
Well, you'd have to get a petition with 5% of the voters first. With that, with saying that, what part of these requested funds are used for the town of Vernon? Because that will be one of their questions.
Sure. So the funds have been going towards the workforce development program.
Mhm.
So if those students will encounter that program, that's what the funds would be used for. They're not used for administrative, they're not used for anything like that. They're program funds for workforce development.
I think that you could probably get your petition and you know, like drop them off at the town office perhaps, or in the library. I don't know, you'd have to ask them, but that would be one way to get signatures
Sure.
outside of going door to door or something.
Yeah, well, it's good to get out and meet those people. So
Right, and normally when people wanna have a petition signed, they stand out in front of the post office.
Excellent. Well, thank you.
Yes, I got a question. So what specific difficulties have you encountered as far as retention and cultivation of young people in this area?
Well, we ourselves are doing our best to hire folks within our organizations. And we have some young professionals that are, you know, struggling to find work in not just the first job, but know that there's a job after that, that they can grow as an individual. So I think that's a big one. Broader, you know, what we hear from the employers in the region is that a lot of the folks end up hitting that ceiling of where they can go within that organization and feeling they need to find other opportunities. So a big part of what we're trying to do is educate the community that there are other opportunities. So the businesses, the number of positions that are coming open, we know from the survey is gonna be 3,500 to 5,000 positions in the coming years. And that's very conservative, that's just the people that answered the survey. And we've identified what type of positions those are. So they're in healthcare, they're in the precision manufacturing. And then what's the career continuum that a student who's in 8th grade or 9th grade now can make some decisions with their parents to put them in a position to secure those jobs when they graduate.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm R.T. Brown. I'm the Windham County Economic Development Program Project Manager. You folks probably know that the Vermont Council on Rural Development submitted a letter of intent for the program. It has moved on to the next phase. It's being reviewed by the Vermont Economic Development, help me, Adam, Progress Council.
Yes.
Thank you, or Betsy. So that's great. It's moving forward. I'm here to just simply introduce myself and say that I'm here for you folks. You know, should that project continue forward, which I, you know, presumably why it wouldn't, you know, we are there to support you. And if anyone has any questions about the program, I'd be more than happy to get together with you or a group to discuss the specific attributes of the program. I have a document here, I won't go into detail, but I'll leave it with you so that you can review it as you need to. But if anyone has any questions about the program, I'd be happy to entertain any questions.
How did you go about raising the pay scale? Because I know in the medical field, they're going to Bay State or Cheshire because they get more money. How can you, as a group, change that?
Well, I think one of the goals of, in the reading here is to raise the median wage, and you know, what we need to do is, that's incremental steps, and the market will help with that, and as the businesses of any type, be it healthcare or anyone else, recognizes the need to retain the employees, that wage will start to go up. You know, I can speak from personal experience. I own a small restaurant, and you know, we years ago decided to pay a little more than most restaurants, and we attract some great talent. And just that little bit of difference, and that makes a big difference, and it just keeps going. So I believe that will happen. We are starting to see business increase. The activity of new business startups is greater than it's been in recent memory. And with that, we would believe that all businesses will end up raising that pay.
So are the businesses in the area, are they talking to you?
Yeah, yes, we are daily, and there's, you know, several different ways in, but RT is really.
What's exciting for me is, you know, I'm out actively working with either existing businesses or, I'll give you a specific example. Last week there was a business. It's I guess I'd call it a high-tech software company, a startup, which is exactly what we're looking for and exactly what this program is looking for. They're interested in being here, and so as Adam said, it's incremental steps, but it's like everyone rising with the tide as we try to work with workforce development issues and attract new businesses and grow and expand our existing businesses. It really helps rise the tide to eventually lead to a better quality of life for an area. So it's for me, it's exciting. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Probably as well as you could.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, and the other thing we really need to do as a region is start attracting more people, because right now we're just stealing each other's workers. To really, you know,
It's
a
that's,
natural problem,
that's
too.
what we're doing. So we need more workers, we need more of our youth staying, and we need to recruit more people. And with that goes the wages.
Emily?
So I often hear about housing being a major issue in this area. So do you have, if you're, in order to attract workforce, are you in touch with, you know, landlords or, you know, government housing programs or something like that to try to, you know, make housing more affordable or more available?
Sure, you know, that's a big part of our SeVEDS. That's a big part of any region looking to develop the workforce. And we have some unique challenges, but a lot of opportunities. You know, if you look just in one specific community, you will find a certain type of housing. If you understand that you can, you know, live in Vernon and work in Putney, and that we're not that far apart. So what we find is a lot of people who come to relocate here have a couple days, a week or two to make this decision, and don't understand the broader communities that we have here in Southern Vermont. Mm-hmm. And people who have a little more time, once they're here, understand that, you know, we're all very close. And each community is very different and has a different feel and a different purpose. So one of the things we're very aware of is more livable housing. So not necessarily what's identified as affordable housing, but housing for a young family that can go out and purchase that house for their first-time home buyer. So the state just started a new program for first-time home buyers this year that we're out there promoting as an opportunity for those young homeowners.
I don't have any questions. You guys are doing work that needs to be done. I commend you for that. You have a very long road to hoe with the cards that you're dealt with the state of Vermont.
Jeff, anything more? I will say, add one thing too, with the petition, I would get with the town clerk's office and see, you know, your steps on that, okay?
Thanks.
All right, I want to take questions from the audience, if you don't mind. All right, Linda had her hand up first.
One of the.
Okay, just a minute. Can't get you on tape if we don't have you in the mic.
Should have on record, go ahead.
Yeah, but it was going on. one of the things that you need to be looking at is electronic infrastructure. If we don't have faster internet, if we don't have the ability to use our telephones driving up the corridor of the West River Valley or going up 91, people aren't gonna come here. They're coming from other places that already are in the 21st century. And I don't know what you do to get these supposedly educated people to decide that telephone poles are ugly. Wooden sticks with strings. We all got used to looking at them. We can look at a monopole and not fall over and die.
Yeah. Very good. Go ahead, Ronald, while you're up.
Thank you, Linda, for a plug for fiber optics,
Yes.
which we are working on in Vernon. I volunteered to work with RT and Kristen and Adam about the petition, since I'm often 3 days a week over there at Cottonmale Hill anyhow, so I can bring them an example of it. We have them in the library also, and they can do it. So I will take care that on.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you so much, Veronica. Thank you. Anybody else from the audience have anything they'd like to ask? Hearing none? I guess you're not on the spot.
Thank you for indulging us.
All right, thank you so very much for coming. And thank you for your services.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, we're moving on. Town Administrator Search Committee. Do you have anything new for us?
Is that what you're here for?
Yes.
Perfect, Tim's here.
Come on up. Yes, I knew he was here. I mean,
I
he
kinda-
asked if I
Okay.
wanted him. I said, oh,
Cool,
absolutely.
I kinda thought I was supposed to speak.
Madam Chairman and board members, thank you, good evening. I think what Emily and I would probably say would be redundant, but just to summarize, last Wednesday's meeting really went a long way toward getting us off the dime. I think that we'd had a few issues with schedules that weren't compatible with one another, and we've got that issue, I think, settled, and we're moving forward. Just to hit the high points of the proposed draft minutes from our November 11th meeting, put those in front of you. The members have come up by consensus with a job posting for VLCT and suggested ad placements, and wanted to discuss those further with VLCT. And during the meeting, I think very properly so, Dale Gassick came up with the question of a contract between the town and the Vermont League of Cities and Towns for this, because the old adage of trust but verify really should be put in place for anything that involves our taxpayer money. So we would put that at your doorstep as a board to take from there, but
And we have a contract, Katrina?
we do have a contract.
Yeah, that's very good.
Abigail responded to Ellen and I from the email that I had sent to her with the follow-up, and she said that we had already signed that,
Yeah,
so.
we signed.
Perfect, so that should not be an impediment, and if the schedule that we had proposed works, we would hope that we would have the application period open until the end of the year.
Wow.
And, yeah, the VLCT's recommendation was 4 to 6 weeks.
Right.
And that, it falls right around there.
Mhm.
Just a follow-up for you, Tim, as well as, we had said January 1st, being that it was a Friday. VLCT came back and said, we usually do it until Monday, so she's suggesting, January
Perfect.
4th. Plus, January 1st is a holiday too,
Mhm.
so,
Some of us still
So-
work it.
yeah, me too. I'm an accountant, of course I do. So,
But I really am delighted with this committee. Very broad, diverse group of individuals who I think collectively have brought a lot to the table. And can't say enough good about Emily's work as clerk in getting some of the needed paperwork out to all of us as well.
Mhm. Very good. Any questions, Andy?
No, thank you.
Josh?
No.
Jeff? I got your names right.
Keep it up.
Well, I guess that's all we needed. I just wanted to know, and I thought that the select board would like to know where we stood and just little steps along the way, and we'd like to know how it's going and.
Well, Madam Chairman, I think in a perfect world, we would have had this done by now, but as we all know, we don't live in such a world. I'm glad that we've gotten as far as we've gotten so far.
Yes, yes, absolutely. All right, well, I guess no questions from the board? Any from the audience?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks,
You're welcome.
Tim.
And
Thank you for, taking the time to come and explain this to us. I appreciate it very, very much.
No problem.
You have a great night.
I don't mind answering questions as opposed to asking them myself.
Apparently, they didn't have any
Well,
questions.
there you go.
Thank you so much, Tim.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Emily.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. Okay. We need to appoint, let's see, we appointed Tim Franklin. Have we not, or would the board?
We need to ratify that.
Okay, we need to ratify that. So I entertain a motion to appoint Timothy Franklin to the recycling committee.
So moved.
Second, he accepted, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Any discussion before
He
we
said
move
he
to the
wants
motion?
that.
Jeff?
That's great.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded to appoint Tim Franklin to the recycle committee. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, thank you. We're going to pass over the public access TV representative. Apparently they don't need one. I'm not gonna get into the other things. Huh? Yeah. And now,
I
Cap.
I could speak to that if you wanna know.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Thank you. No, I don't. Because it was a letter that was received by Patty O'Donnell last year that we knew nothing of. And all we knew what that was, Mike Quartermanche was on that committee. That was the last we knew. So I don't need any more. You don't need a representative. We won't appoint one.
Okay, that's all I was gonna say, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. The capital plan update. Can you girls come up? You don't wanna come up?
He's not gonna hold my hand tonight.
No?
Don't hold it. I came to tell you that we are going to be having a meeting on the 19th and committee meeting. We have interviewed all of the committees, all of the people that would need to be on the capital plan have been spoken to, except we don't know who to speak to for the town bus. Whose purview is the town bus?
The
Highway, we gave it to.
The highway?
Yeah, we gave it to David.
Okay,
I mean, the seniors might have some input on it, but ultimately, I think it's.
I don't know,
because,
they wanted it to be the town van,
Right.
so it's the town van, and now it's
Bus.
David of town bus.
okay.
So we gave it to David to.
Because we met with David, and he wanted to make sure for his department,
Mhm.
and he wanted to make sure that we weren't conflicting with the seniors, or
Well-
they needed to have approval, or
Well, maybe you
what?
should, they have a transportation, meetings once a month, am I right, Nancy? Maybe you could, who's your chairman now? Is it still,
It's open to the town
town bus is the town bus.
I know, but.
It's the seniors that care about it that
But I know, but we did, like she said, she doesn't wanna leave you out, I mean, you guys are the ones that, use it all the time, nobody else does really.
Well, we'd like
So-
other people to use it.
Yeah, no, I know that, I know that. What I'm saying is maybe you should have an input in
Rita
it.
is the driver and she kinda conducts the group, whoever comes from the town,
Yeah, I
and has
think-
the meeting.
Would you like me to meet with the next, find out when the next board meeting is for that committee and then go to that?
There is no committee.
There's no
It's no committee, not a town committee, it's a
Okay,
senior transportation committee, I think.
okay.
It's not a
Um,
town,
Huh?
it's not a town.
No,
committee.
no.
What is it she wants to know from?
It is about the van, the town van,
The town bus.
the bus.
Whether we're supposed
I'll
to
get it
be,
right yet,
yeah, whether we need to put it on the capital plan
For the
to
future.
for the
prepare for the future, or we
It has
don't need to
always
do
been
it?
on the plan for
No,
the
it has
future.
not.
No, it hasn't
No, it
always
has
been.
not. The town voted not to put that $15,000 there.
Exactly.
They voted to take it out and put it into the general fund, put it back. So it is not always there. So it has to be either put there now,
So-
but you need to talk to the
What I'll do is talk
capital
with
plan.
David, because he will know what the condition of the
Yes,
van is and
absolutely.
whether it's something that we need, how
Yeah,
many
and then you
miles
could
it's
go
being
to,
used,
The seniors to,
and do that.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we'll have
just
to
a minute,
do,
please.
we'll have to do
If you look
that.
at the last capital plan, the town van is projected out. It should be on there, projected out.
I don't know.
The plan is projected out, but at the same time, the money was returned.
Right, that
So-
that 15,000 wouldn't be showing on there,
Right.
that was returned, but the van should be projected out with no money.
Well, that's why I've come here to ask, if
Already
we, are we supposed
was
to
already
start saving
started.
money or
No.
not saving money?
I don't know what year it was
Right.
supposed to be, I don't remember what year
So-
that the money was supposed to
I'll
start.
talk to David and
Yes, please do.
do that.
Town van.
It's there, it's listed town van, but it's
Right.
not, there's no monies.
Right,
Right.
and that was the year it's listed is the year the money is supposed to start.
What money? How much? What did the,
Is not a projected cost out there?
Yes.
what?
It's the very top line, top item. The town van, it says 2008, the need year is 23, 24.
Right, I got that,
The
but,
projected cost is $100,000 and they assigned 12.5 starting
wow.
this year, 15, 16.
But that 23-24 was based when the van was traveling a lot more than it's traveling now.
But I think David would know.
Right, so
I
then
think,
yeah.
see
yeah, talk
David
with
and
David.
adjust,
Well,
and adjust
um,
those figures.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, because
So
that,
I'll do that.
yeah, that would be good, because, I did
And-
not know that there was even gonna begin, and that's this
Right.
year.
Right.
So why didn't you guys know that?
So anyway, because we're getting on, we're just all new on the plan right now. So
Okay.
we're just working with what we have, and that's why we came to ask
Okay,
that
cause
question.
I would've
So we'll go
sworn that there
ahead
was
and
nothing
check
there,
with
but it
David.
certainly is.
And the other thing is that I'll check with David and see if we can meet with him and meet with somebody from the senior transportation, even maybe Rita, and talk with her. And see if the 23-24 need year is still there, because my understanding is that the bus is not used as much as it was, and we may not need the 23-24 need year. We may be able to
Yeah,
project it
I don't
further.
know,
Because we have to go by the guidelines of the capital plan, which is not to replace it until it needs to be replaced.
yes, no, you have to,
Right.
yeah, I understand that.
Also, we should be able to, I've found the diagram that was used in the past. I can't do overhead projections and all of that, I missed AV. So, anyway, but I will have
Yeah,
the
because it'd be
same,
better,
I'll have the same grid, so people will see what the grid used to look like, and I can plug all the figures into that grid. And we're gonna be working on that on our meeting on the 19th, the committee. And so we should be able to come to your meeting on the 30th with a plan,
okay.
if you want us there or come.
Yes, no,
to
no, that's the time to come.
Okay.
And if we don't get, if we don't get to you, then we'll just bring you the next time, but
That's
I
fine.
think, you know, we
Yep.
need to get these done.
But that, we wouldn't be able to do it before then.
No, no, I just wanted to update us to where we were,
That's
you
where
know,
we
to
are.
let the board know
We've
where we were.
met with everybody, it's just a town ban thing that we need to do.
Yeah, I see your hand up, I'll get you in a sec, sorry. What about, like the computers? Remember I had mentioned that, or somebody had mentioned it at a meeting, and, but
Well,
because
when
they're
I talked to the-
individual and
yes.
not, we can't put it on there, am I correct? That was my thought.
Well, at one time, a long time ago, we talked about having just a central place to do copiers, computers, that type of thing, but that never went anywhere. That was years ago. And
Yeah,
when
well-
we met with all the departments,
They all need their computers, I
they
mean, you
do
can't
need
have
them, but
one
no-
computer,
but-
and
but
everybody trying to.
none of them come to and that's another thing, how nothing, like if you're gonna buy one for your department, you're gonna buy one for, nobody's is $10,000 or more.
No,
So we're just there.
Yeah.
It was also suggested, and I don't remember who suggested it, but it was suggested that we looked into, buying supplies and so forth, instead of my department buys, 2 reams of paper and yours buys 10 and
yeah, no,
yours buys 15.
we've already done that, we're
That we
gonna
do
do that.
something like that.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yes,
combine.
yeah.
But, yeah, okay, cause I just was, I was asked, as a matter of fact, today about computers and stuff like that.
No one
where there's
no one mentioned that they
Right.
needed any big computer program things.
Yeah, the
Or buying
listers,
the computers.
right, one of the listers mentioned today to me that, her computer was going down, but I also mentioned that 2 years ago, the paper had bought a brand new one.
Right.
And it was given to the new auditor that came in 2 years ago or 3 years ago, whatever it was. And, so that's pretty
Right.
new.
Right.
And, maybe, you know, a little bit of an upgrade or something so that she'd have that to hold on to at least
Mhm.
if her computer's, whatever. But that's another day for the select board.
Right.
Yeah, I just was wondering if there was a way we could get, you know, all the computers, because everybody's is like 4 or 5 years old, something like that.
Mike was working on was going
He
to
was.
work on a technology plan
Mhm.
for upgrading of the computers over a period of time.
Yep, and
A replacement schedule.
Right, a replacement schedule.
Right.
But
So-
again, that wouldn't total
No.
$10,000 at a time.
Sandy has a question.
Didn't we set up, or I know Sally asked us to set up a technology fund,
Yes.
and I think we should consider funding that.
We do have a technology
I
fund,
don't
I
think we're
believe.
giving it to spit at though right now.
No,
But I think we
there's
should
not a
look
lot of
at-
money in it, but,
We should look at asking taxpayers for money for that fund.
all right, like,
Do you
then
want-
maybe we should ask.
Do you
That should
want
be
us to
option.
do a survey of the department heads for their computer needs and let you know what they are?
Do you have time to do that?
I can call them, not a problem.
I would appreciate it.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Okay. The value of not working.
I had,
Any other
one more.
questions?
I do.
Oh, and I also
No,
wanted to,
please.
while here, thank Nancy Gassett for keeping our open meeting law going, because she's the one that gets the notices out, she's the one that does the minutes and gets on me if I don't get them, so, anyway, thank you. Good job.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I have brought up before, the possibility of installing solar panels. We have on
Mhm.
the couple of town buildings, let's see, this one and the pool and even the highway are situated in pretty good positions to get the exposure, to get good, sun exposure. And someone told me that the capital plan would be where to go to.
Because that
for
would be over 10,000.
Because it would be,
yes.
yes.
Yep.
I know personally, I mean, I think solar is great, but I don't like green space being used up for it. And
Roofs
if
are
we've got,
fine.
if we've
Yeah.
got roof lines for them, I mean, I think it even,
Some of the
helps
problem
to
is
preserve
some of the
the
roofs
roof
are
too.
flat rubber roofs, and they may not have the underlying infrastructure to be able to hold the weight of the panels. But that would be something you'd have to look into. I don't know, I've seen them everywhere, but I don't really know anything about them. But, did you want us to talk to somebody that's in
Should we
the
tell
solar
Kevin?
industry?
I don't know,
I mean-
I don't know where to go, I guess it's just an idea, I mean.
What about integrated
I was
solar?
gonna, that's what I was gonna say, somebody like Integrated Solar to go there and
Yeah.
just say, we're just beginning, what do
Yeah.
you suggest?
I mean, I think it's, I mean, if we can lower our tax bill, if
Mhm.
it's worth it, and then you get, you know, incentives, or, I mean, I think private taxpayers get tax
And I-
credits, we can't get
I
those,
think
but-
people have to be wary when you're talking about solar. I get all these mailers where you can get into solar and it costs you
Mhm.
absolutely nothing, Be aware that nothing's for nothing in this world. I found out a
would-
long time ago.
Would you include Kevin in
Mhm.
that solar?
Well, it'd be all the department heads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Question, Linda?
Sure.
I confess to being unfamiliar with the details of capital plan development.
Mhm.
What are the steps? Initially, the committee would canvass department heads for additional needs? Or-
Any items that they may have that would cost more than $10,000.
Okay.
And, then at that point, the, can you, Nancy, would you bring me the book, please? Thank you. Then, right here on page 11, list of all capital additions and replacements of a value greater than or equal to 10,000 required for continued maintenance of the town services. It should only include need items, not want or nice to have items. They're going to be reviewed by the finance committee and select board and approved by the town at annual meeting. No purchase of a cap of $10,000 more would be made unless it's unforeseeable emergency, unless it's processed through the capital plan. So if somebody has something, they're gonna bring it, we'll put it in the capital plan. That doesn't mean it's going to be passed. We just get everything in
At what
there.
point is it,
We'll put it in a grid like Sheldon had. Remember
Oh,
the one he
yes,
had?
yes.
I have that grid. And I can
Similar to
plug-
this, correct?
Yes, I can plug everything in there.
Similar to that.
And I don't know how to use AV equipment, so I can't do what he did. But everybody can have I'm paper age, everybody can have a paper handout.
Yep.
So they can do that, and they'll be able to look at it, something that they're familiar of looking at in the past. But what happens is, we go to the committees, we talk to the department heads, we ask them what their needs are, and we put them all into the grid. We don't make any choices of whether they go there or not, except by dollar. It
So-
has to be
so
10,000 or more, then
we-
you get it, and you decide if you wanna keep it in there. And if you wanna keep
as a
it in
select
there,
board?
Yes.
yeah, then that, and you're not the last stop.
Yeah.
The last
People
stop
are.
is the town.
Town, yeah.
So then it goes to the town, and the town can decide whether they wanna keep something in there.
But as a select board, we're not gonna look through and, well, personally, I think the town is over-equipped for the future.
Mhm.
Um,
And those are things that we ask, like say, if we'll just use David, we'll talk about equipment, cause David has the most equipment. Do you need this? If you're replacing it, are you gonna replace it with, and it's supposed to be replaced with like equipment, unless the upgrade is so that, makes sense to do the upgrade, because you're gonna need an upgrade in the future, but not just because the guy in the town next door, he got a new truck, so I want a new truck. So it's our job to make sure that what they're asking for is something that they're showing a genuine need for. It's your job to decide whether you agree or not, and if you don't, that's your prerogative.
But ultimately, a town meeting is
That's,
the time
and then when it comes to the town, we'll make whatever changes to the grid that you guys make, and then we'll put it out there, and then before that, we have a pre-town meeting for people to come to, so they can make any statements they want at that time.
what about, once it's going through and a few years down the road, they come in with their, okay, we've got money in the capital plan, for a new fire truck, say.
But if they
Well-
don't need it, they shouldn't have it.
Yes, that is also a time where the select board can say, according to the guidelines,
Exactly.
you don't need it at this point.
Supposedly, when we'll
You
just
still
use,
have a, you know, even after
we'll
town
use
meeting.
we'll use that as, what you just said. They asked for a new fire truck, they showed that they needed it in the year 2032.
Mhm.
2032 comes, maybe we don't need a new fire truck in 2032. So what's supposed to happen is the department head is supposed to go to the people on the capital plan who look at it, look at the mileage, look, you know, whether it's something that's needed or not needed, and let you know, but that's not been what's happening.
No,
People have
it
said,
isn't.
the money's in the fund,
Yeah.
I can spend the money.
Yeah, that,
And
I
then
guess
if
that's
we
my
don't give
concern.
it to them,
Then
get
the
mad,
select
yeah.
board either doesn't know or goes right ahead and agrees.
Because I think the plan has to change according
Yeah.
to changing needs in the future, and.
Well, if you read the plan, if people followed the plan, you wouldn't have people buying things that aren't needed.
That's right.
But that's the
Absolutely.
problem.
Yeah.
What's in writing in the plan, I mean, you can change it any way you want, and we can bring it to the voters, and the voters vote on changes.
I just, you know, you mentioned like 2032, for example.
Yeah.
I don't see the point of saving money or taking money from the town and accumulating it.
For 2032.
Yeah, when you
No.
get that far down the
We're
line,
only
it's like.
I think we're only 5 years out
Yeah, okay.
on the grid. It's only 5 years out, but I'm just saying, when people are looking, what's supposed to happen if you read this and we follow this, if you're the fire chief, you're supposed to come to the capital plan committee and say, I need that fire truck that's budgeted for. And the committee's supposed to do diligence to see whether or not it's really needed or not. And if it's not needed, to come to the select board and say, the fire chief came and said he wanted a new fire truck. We don't see why he really needs one, but it's up to the select board. But what happens is they either go and buy them, or they come to the select board and the select board okays it, instead of saying, sorry, tell them we're not gonna pay for it. But until the rules that the town voted on are enforced, nothing's gonna change. They've gotta be enforced.
No, I agree.
And that's the problem.
Yep.
Like over here, it's, prior to annual town meeting, a public hearing needs to be held.
Mhm.
I don't ever remember a public hearing being held for the capital plan.
I
But
believe,
we're or we've had one or two, but not
Yeah,
every
I
year
think we
like we're
have.
supposed to. So that needs to happen.
Mhm.
And, over here, down making purchases, that's the section you wanna read. Now, anything you want changed in this plan has to be brought before the town
People.
meeting,
Yes, absolutely.
because nobody can change it on their own. So
Right.
if you look at it and you're not happy with it, you wanna make changes, you need to propose the changes.
For town meeting.
We
Yeah.
would just like to see,
In an
as a
article.
committee, we would like to see the plan implemented properly.
So,
Yes,
so
I
when,
agree.
as written
Definitely.
now, you don't see any reason to modify it, just to actually enforce.
I don't
what
see
it
a
is.
reason to modify it, but I'm not on the select board. If you folks that control the purse see a reason to modify it, then you should bring that forward.
Mhm.
And read it and see if you want anything. That's why, when I was on the committee with Sheldon, we worked on the language for this and, put in the end of useful life over here.
Mhm.
Under number 4, all equipment replacement need dates will be based on projected end of useful life. The requesting department will be responsible to establish quantifiable measures to determine when the end of useful life is achieved. Annual repair cost, out of service time, mileage, so forth. The finance committee, which we don't really, it would be us, and the department will mutually agree on the acceptability of the proposed end of useful life, and then it would come to you folks, and you have the final say of paying the bill. If you say, well, I don't think you're right, I don't think it's at the end, then we'll have to go back and look. but it would happen, but that's the problem. What's in writing isn't enforced.
That's our job.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, we have to do things because,
Well, people,
we're
there's
not gonna
only
get
so
the
much-
money that
there's
we're.
only so much money.
That's right, and it's gonna be even less
And
and less
there's
and
only
less.
2 pockets.
Yep.
My right one and my left one. Any
Well,
questions for our?
No, I
Appreciate
actually
it.
think this is very good, very informative, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Just a minute, I wanna apologize to, Mary Lynn and, Nancy, I know that, I was just, you know how you go over and over and over in your mind, you know it's Nancy, and I'm trying to say Nancy. Because I really did not realize that they were already starting to take it out, so forgive me if you would please. Yeah, just a minute, go ahead. Then I'll take your question, Nancy.
Regarding the solar, last year, I believe, somebody came from,
Yes, they did.
net metering,
Yeah.
and they're talking to the hospitals and the school, looking at, but also, the phone number for integrated solar is 257-7493. You wanna talk to Francesca Donati, she will answer the phone anyhow, and if you want her email, I got it.
Okay, I'll call, I like
Name dropper.
I'm old, I like talking.
I'm looking into solar for my house.
Oh.
I cannot have solar at my house because I do not have a south-facing roof.
Oh,
I have to be a part of the community solar array.
Nancy, please.
Linda explained it beautifully because I was part of the group way back when we were trying to get the new bus. And we had to go through.
If it'll go there.
It just needs to be.
Aren't I loud enough?
No, cause she can't get you, it doesn't pick up on the thing. I'm sorry.
We had to go through all of that, and it had to be explained to us many times, and we met with some of the select board members, and Annette, and Bobby, and
Oh, I remember
he
that.
sat
I
in
was
front of
the
us,
audience
and
then.
he was so great, he put up with all the questions from the seniors, and he was really very good. But it was a big learning experience for us, but we had to go through whether it was useful, whether it had
Yes, I remember a
done the
few
useful.
things that went
So
did
she
go through
explained
that.
it, you know, and you all, the only ones
Yep.
that can change it.
That's right, yep. You know, in the past, we have attempted to do that, you know, so I mean, but we're not gonna attempt anymore. We have to obey the rules, that's it.
I do wanna say, thank you to all of the, department heads who very graciously received all 5 of us. Because, everybody came because it was a learning experience for Joyce, for Nancy, for Rita, and for Tom. And I was the only one that had done that before, and it's been a while since I've actively done it, so, every one of the department heads was very gracious in meeting with us.
Well, I thank all of you that, you know, stepped up to do this capital plan. It really needed a good, strong crew
Right.
to really work on this, and I appreciate each one of you. I thank you very,
Well,
very much,
everybody,
Nancy.
and everyone's been, except for the meeting that 2 of our members had to come here for, everybody has been at every meeting, which
Yep.
is nice to be on a
Except for
committee
yours
where everybody
truly,
comes
who hasn't showed up yet.
That's all right, we're going along without you,
Yeah,
girl.
I'm just a liaison anyway.
Any questions?
Any more questions from the board? No?
Looking
Thanks.
forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it either. Very good, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. All right, Katrina, could you update us, please, on all the things you had to go through, please?
Well,
If that
wasn't-
should have been done?
It wasn't just me.
No, you and Cindy, right?
Cindy, yeah.
Yes.
I just started thinking about the fire pond grant and what the deadline was one day, and started to do a little bit of tracking down and contacted Bobby.
Yes, I was very
And got all the
worried we weren't gonna get the
information.
money.
We got it into Cindy, the deadline date for it was November 15th. It did make it there, and a check is being cut today. That will be $4,000. The total
Yeah,
cost.
It got there, let me explain to you all, it got there because of Katrina's due diligence and also Cindy's. Because otherwise it wouldn't have got in. It was, we were promised that we would get the grant, we weren't really ever promised to get the grant. And it had a lot of work to do, they both had to do a lot of work to get this. They had to go through hoops to get it, so they did the job that somebody else should have.
Well,
I'm sorry, but that's the way it
thankfully
should be.
Troy, who is in charge of the grant for this, I now don't even have the information in front of me, but he is accepting the press release after the date. When you do
She had to
grants,
write
there
press
is a
release and everything.
huge checklist of things you must do, and really when you're doing a project, you should probably carry that checklist with you every single place you go, because there is before, during, and after stuff that has to be done, and one of those items was a press release, which we weren't aware of until we were trying to go through the checklist and found out. And it's not quite as easy to get things published as it used to be. You know, it used to be you could send it over and it was in a couple days. Now it's quite different and it takes a lot longer. So through some really creative avenues, we managed to get a press release drawn up, and one that is going off into the Commons, and Troy said if we sent him the Commons, they'd accept that. We also posted it on the unofficial website for Vernon as a means of getting the information out there. We had to have before and during and after photos, so we had to track down people who might have taken pictures of those. But like I said, the good news is the check was being cut. The total project came to $9,130.55. $4,000 of that is reimbursable to the town, and the remainder of that is coming out of the fire pond maintenance.
Thank you very much.
It's all done.
Yes, thank you very much.
A lot of work that went into it.
You saved the town. I
Well,
mean, you got that for the
Cindy
town,
sent it
right?
off. If Cindy hadn't sent it off on the actual deadline date itself, it
Well, I
never would have made
give
it,
credit to
because the
Cindy as
15th
well,
was,
thank God for Cindy.
15th was a Sunday, and I thought about it again on Saturday, so we both managed to put some time, and I thank Bobby for responding quickly to my frantic calls, which I made several, and getting in to sign paperwork, because he was in charge of a lot of the actual work that had to be done,
Yes, thank
meeting
you,
with
Bobby,
the
and-
excavators and stuff
And the
like that.
highway crew.
And the highway crew had
Thank
to,
you.
they did their part, the fire department, had to, there's a lot of testing that had to happen after the fact, so everybody worked together and we got it in, and it's good for the town.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Okay, treasurer's report.
Just make sure this, I'm pretty sure. Alright. Madam Chair, I make
Yes.
a motion that we approve and pay the following warrants. 15-16.9 accounts payable, $30,581.96. 44S payroll, $9,640.97. And 45S payroll, $7,943.34.
Second.
Any discussion on these? Anything?
How does this fit in with,
With what?
new business, item A?
Cemetery deeds?
No, new business, the Selectboard Pay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, the check was,
That's already been.
It's already-
It's already
yeah.
been issued.
yeah,
So
so,
that's,
I mean,
it doesn't affect that.
Wasn't in
With
this
one, it
one.
wasn't in these warrants, so.
yes, it was,
Yes, it was.
yes, it was.
Oh, it was?
Yes, it was.
I didn't know that, I thought it already.
I thought it was
Yeah,
before.
No, it's in this, it's in these warrants.
Well, it's already been given to them, so I
That's what
would
I was
say
wondering,
accept
because
it
it's a-
now,
because
and
it's
we'll
payroll,
figure
it's
out what
been-
we're gonna do after, okay?
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, cause if the check's already been
Yeah,
cut,
the
we
check's already
can't-
been, right.
Yeah.
Uncut it.
Yeah,
Can't ungut it. Um,
Oh, yes. Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna lose my voice again,
Thank
so
you.
forgive me. Motion's been made and seconded to pay, and sign warrants 15-16.9, accounts payable $30,581.96. 44S payroll, $9,640.97. 45S payroll, $7,943.34. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Let's see.
All right, minutes. Didn't you have something on the minutes? Somebody?
On page, on November 2nd, I had a question.
Oh, okay, let's get through October 27th first.
Jeff and I are out.
You're not here?
Not for that one. So you'll have to vote.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and I didn't make them prior to today, I apologize.
Well, you're not forgiven. Of course you are. But the only thing is that, oh, Josh is on here.
Josh is on there.
We
yeah.
Okay,
vote
good.
on it, but
The
it's-
three of us
Yeah,
can vote
but
on it.
the three of us
Phew.
have to vote on it.
Yep.
I was thinking, oh gosh, it's just me and Emily. How did we have a meeting?
No, don't worry, I'm right here.
Oh darn, you're still here.
Like a bad penny.
Yeah, they always return, don't they? Yeah. Just joking with you, Josh. I'm glad you're here.
I make a motion that we accept the October 27th minutes as written.
I'm still scanning, sorry. I know, I apologize.
I'll second it. No, I can't. Emily's gonna, you have to wait. They have to be
was the
like
late
7 or 8
meeting, so-
pages long too.
This
Oh,
was
if
you
the
guys
minutes-
would stop
Yes.
talking so much.
Was that me or
I
them?
could, I could write a whole lot
It's
less.
gotta be Josh, let's blame it on him.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Getting there. Okay, I'll second it.
Chris, what did you? Thank you, Lord. No, I'm kidding. Okay, motion's been made and seconded to accept the minutes of October 27th as written. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Abstain.
Aye.
Okay, we have 3 ayes and 2 abstentions. All right, November 2nd,
Page 4. Under the bills and warrants. It's just a typo, but it looks really weird.
I usually do.
Pay of the amount of 32,72,62.
yeah,
Okay, I can fix those.
Okay,
it
that's.
has to have the right amount anyway, so it
That's
does.
the right amount, it's just the commas are not in the right place, is that correct? I've been
No,
looking at
it's
it,
missing,
hang on a
you're
second.
missing a figure. It should be 32,700 and something.
Page 4, you said?
Yeah,
Oh, no,
page 4,
it
bills
is.
and warrants.
It is all there.
It's all
Yeah.
there, it's just,
Okay.
yeah, no, it's missing a number. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Yes, because the 42 goes to the next
Oh,
one.
yes. Well, my eyes didn't deceive me that time.
It was a nice account payable of 43,000.
No apologies for me this time. Eating humble pie,
It's good for us.
eating crow, kinda like.
Oh, gross.
I have been there many times in my life, I'm not afraid to say I'm sorry. Step up.
Under public comments, the correct name of the event on December 13th, Vernon Artisan, singular, market.
What page is that?
It's on the
Page
first.
2 of 6.
Oh, open comments,
Yeah.
okay.
Artisan.
Open public comments, I see. Yeah, okay, thank you very
Singular
much.
artisan market.
Yep, thank you very much. Hey, Bronna, can you change your name to Smith or something like that?
I humbly apologize. For 20 years, I was married to Timothy William Clark, and when I got divorced in 1993, July 28th of 1993.
Funny how we remember that. Do you remember the time?
It was a letter, so I don't remember the time. It was effective that day. I went back to my maiden name.
Couldn't he have stayed at Clark?
Yeah, could you have stayed at Clark?
David Gregory Clark is my 36-year-old son. I apologize.
Okay, good.
It was too bland a name for me.
Yeah.
Still had bronze.
I make a motion to accept it as corrected.
Second.
All right, motion's been made and seconded to accept the minutes of November 2nd as corrected. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Abstain.
One abstention. Okay, we got through them. Okay, we need to reassign the liaisons and one's for the fiber optic committee.
That was me.
You or Josh?
I did that one.
Okay,
Okay, wait a minute, say that one again, because
that was the fiber optics.
fiber
That would be Emily is their liaison.
I'm on the plan.
And Jeff is on the planning, right, so we might as well, and the recycling? Or didn't put, no, you don't have that one? Okay, so Jeff's on the planning, so he can be in, you could?
Well, unless
Good
someone
girl.
here's on it.
No,
Okay.
no, okay, Sandy. All right, so we have 3 new ones. Fiber optics, is Emily, planning is Jeff, and recycling is, Sandy. Thank you. Very much. All right, storage room update, because I can see somebody's been very busy out there with tape. Is it too soon to ask, or should we wait for another?
If you want the total picture, it is, but we're in the process of investigating both places.
Right.
Inside the room and outside the room.
Mhm.
And we had the fire marshal come and look at both places to give us his input. And the archives people and the fire marshal have agreed we can do a 1-hour rated room. So we've got that figured out. So the next thing we had to do was look at all the components that we're dealing with. And in the room inside that we thought would be easy, there's a radiator in the way and pipes coming down the wall. So I have a plumber coming tomorrow to look at it and give us a ballpark figure, because it has to be moved. The fire marshal said there's no other way around it, we have to move it back.
If we choose that room.
Yes,
Yeah.
for that scenario, yeah.
Yep.
The door is not fire rated, so although we thought we could just put up a wall,
Yeah.
the door and the frame are not rated for anything. So unless we can find the company of the door and see if they'll give us a 1-hour rating on it, we might have to pull the door and the frame out. So that's, turning out to be a little more than we thought. So anyway, we've got the electrician coming tomorrow as well to tell us how the electrical would be price-wise, because we have to divide in that room. If we go that way, we have to divide the circuit so we can have lights in 2 separate places.
Right.
And then we have to have lights in this part if we're gonna do this. So we're in the process. The fire marshal asked us to tape it out so he could come look at it, so that's what we did. And these guys are coming tomorrow, and by the next meeting, we should be able to give you,
All right, so then, why
because we
don't
know the materials we need now, but we have to rip the panel, either rip the paneling off the back wall of the room or go over it with fireproof sheetrock. Probably makes more sense to just go over it, I think. So, I don't know, we're trying to see which one
All right,
is gonna cost less and
yep.
it's kind of.
All right, so board wanna bring them back, have them come back our next meeting?
Yes.
Actually, that's 3 weeks, am I correct?
The next regular meeting.
Yeah, the next
will be
regular
7th.
meeting is the 7th, that's right, so,
So we should be able
So
to
we
have
should
all
have-
the materials plugged in and the subs and be able to tell you all that.
okay,
And,
all right, that sounds wonderful, thank you. Thank you very much. That was fast. Okay, so now on to the new business, we've got a list of them afterwards, but let's start with what's there now. Selectboard pay. What- I don't think so.
No, unfortunately, the email went to all of you and made it public record.
That's right, in a
Okay.
public record. So what should we do? Should we, ask for him to, reimburse the town, or just keep it?
I think we should ask him to reimburse the town.
We did it in the past, when someone went.
Josh? I'm not gonna ask Jeff, because Jeff's gonna get the remainder if we bring him back, so.
It would be a conflict of interest.
It would be a
It
big
would.
conflict of interest.
Knowing that to be the case, I think you get paid for what you do, and that's my opinion.
Okay, so the pleasure of the board is to, have Katrina write him a letter and ask him to reimburse, or would that come from Cindy? What's?
Cindy.
I would think Cindy.
I think when it happened in the past, we had an administrator, or an administrative assistant, and she's the one
Well, we
that wrote
do.
the letter. That's right, so, but she's the one that wrote the letters, so.
Right.
I've written DHR letters in the past.
Oh, okay. I mean, Cindy would have to figure the amount.
Oh, we
that-
gave the amount.
It's already in the email.
Oh,
Yep.
Yep,
okay,
announced
yeah,
there.
that's right. Okay.
Okay,
Do you have a set date by, that you want reimbursed by, or just
I think 30 days,
within 30 days? Thank you.
and that's when we're expected to pay
Yeah,
our
we-
bills,
yeah.
you personally and as a town.
I need a motion.
Due to the,
You don't have to say a name. because-
no,
No.
because it's not been done in the past, I feel that we need to request the overage paid back.
Okay, is that your motion?
That's my motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Motion's been made and
Precedence.
seconded because of,
Precedent.
precedence. I was able to say that word right out and say it right.
I'll try to do it again.
First tonight. No. To request that back. So, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye,
Abstain.
and one abstention. Or recuse, whichever you wanna use there. All right, then the next one, we have a list of them. Where is that list? I had it right there, cemetery deed, do you have that deed?
Oh, we're doing it.
Yeah, let's go these first, get rid of these.
You got the first name on the list there.
All right, I need a motion, who wants to make that motion? That we sign that deed, all of us. You can have Sandy, because she knows what,
Madam Chair, I make the motion that we sign the cemetery deed for lot 154, sites A and B in North Cemetery, so called, for Roger and Candace Sachs, their heirs and assigns forever.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Seeing none? Motion's been made for blah blah, you got that, right? And been seconded, so all those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
The ayes have it. All right, and the next thing is, as we're.
Chris, before you go on.
Yep, you have another one?
No, last time I was here and we talked about, things that were going on in the cemetery,
Yes.
I have since found a set of regulations that I didn't know existed.
Okay.
And it looks to me like it's a legitimate town document.
Okay.
And I wanna know if it's okay if I give these out when I sell cemetery lots.
You should be. You're supposed to be.
This wasn't in the ordinance book.
Oh,
I think it's recorded.
do you have more?
40 maybe?
Do you have a couple more?
I got lots of
I mean, you need both of them?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I can read one at a time.
Take one, Chris.
I'm not buying at the present time.
You're not buying?
No, I'm not
Well,
buying.
you gotta read it.
Oh.
Because if these things were enforced, we wouldn't have the problems we're having.
Yeah, well, that's really, I think that's us again. But I know that, and being on the cemetery committee before, and now again, I know that we used to try. And the cemetery has tried in the past. It's,
Well, it isn't necessarily up to the cemetery committee, I just think we need to somehow communicate, maybe, sometimes they post right at the cemeteries.
well, I think that's that would be the cemetery, committee to come up with somehow to do it, and then they bring it to the select board. Am I correct on that?
And a lot of these things, have to do with, when we go to try to figure out where lots are, like you've got a lot of bushes in the cemeteries that are way over the requirement in here.
Yeah.
That they're encroaching on other people's slots.
Yeah, they've been doing that.
They've been cutting them down, and a lot of them, do have grandfathers.
You've got people's stones that are going in, if they've left their stones the way they're supposed to be along a row, like where the head would go, cremation or not, and they're putting stones every which way. I mean, there's just a lot of things in here that if they were enforced, we wouldn't have the problems that we're having. So can we think of a way to?
Yeah,
Not bury anybody.
huh?
Not bury anybody.
No,
Yeah,
better enforce the
that's
rules.
it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know y'all dying to get into the cemeteries, but
Yeah.
please, oh, that was
I
bad.
think giving
When I
people a
sell
copy
lots.
of this is
Yeah.
a very good idea when you sell a lot.
Yeah.
Mailing them to
And,
them.
let the cemetery work on this, because they're
We're
working on them now to, get them updated and, so.
So there's no reason why I can't give these out to.
Absolutely none. According to the cemetery committee, they're supposed to be given out, correct?
Right.
They're supposed to.
Well, the last time we talked about these problems, I didn't hear anybody.
There are more ones than this that are supposed to have been, these are way old.
The last time we talked about the subject, I didn't hear anyone say there were regulations. I'm new at this, I told you all that I haven't
Right.
been doing this very long. And I went in the ordinance book and I looked for something and there was nothing there.
Well, I think there has been some that's been, I didn't even notice.
I think they're recorded in the town record book.
The only thing I found was this and then two other maintenance type rules. There's no
Yeah, 'cause
other,
this
there's
is
no
an
other
old one.
rules
The
to
town
do.
records?
Yeah, in the,
Is this an ordinance?
No, it's not in order, it's regulation.
as far as regulations that deal with, the way people can bury or not bury and having to have a permit and things like that, there's no other document that I could find that addressed
I
any of those things.
think there is another document. Is there some way that you could look in the select board's old records? Because I think I, as a select board member now, not talking cemetery, has even signed a newer one than this. This is 1994, and I'm thinking, I bet you, and I can't guarantee it because I've been off all night, but I bet you it was probably 2008.
Okay, well, I've looked
Or,
for it.
and if that's the case, I may have been on the cemetery committee and not on the, board, and it may have been before that, I don't know.
Okay, I'll
So, but I do
Thank you.
remember it being done, So can you look in our old files and see if you can't find one that this board has signed? Because, I mean, even that don't even look like the one that we've been.
I know, it's not the one
my
we've been
first,
working on.
my first meeting, and this is different. So, yeah, let us look.
Don't you have a copy of all the town policies and regulations and stuff? Didn't you say you were scanning that? or
Yeah, well,
something?
That's
I'm
poli-
not, but
that's
yes, it's,
policies and ordinances,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I was just informed this is completely different, so,
yeah, this is not part of,
I don't have
Well, wouldn't it
that.
go in that book, cause it's
I would think so.
adopted?
It should be recorded in like book 40
I
or
was
book
gonna say,
34.
I was gonna say, you said book 40, I was gonna check that.
Of course, book 40 may be full by now, but I don't know.
Would it be, forgive me, I don't remember when I buried my mother, like who puts the stone in, like Abby Addy? I mean, they're
Yes.
the
Most
ones,
of the time.
so I mean, would it be prudent of us to provide a copy of these, of which, of the,
They've already got it.
current,
They
well,
always get them.
with what? Like,
When they're updated, they always get them, and Marilyn makes sure they have them.
Yes,
okay, okay, so like funeral homes and they all
Mm-hmm.
have that,
So
okay.
when we get finished and they're, with these new ones and they're
it's
approved
not
by the
anything,
board,
anything. The ones that I have right here,
What is the one you
town
have?
clerk's office.
this is just the caretaker's maintenance, and that's the only one in
I
here.
saw
that-
2 of those.
Yeah, yeah, so, this is not in here.
Well, the caretakers, would they, I mean, I know they're not responsible for like the shrubs, the overgrown shrubs, but
No, that's the cemetery,
And the
that's the
cemetery
cemetery's,
committee's been working on it.
and they have been working on it,
2 or
so,
3
You only have so much money a year
Yeah.
to pay someone to do it.
Cut bushes and
Yeah,
cut
yeah.
stuff down.
you have to, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that if we look and see, let's see first before we go with these, but yes, absolutely.
So this person that's tomorrow gonna come in and pay, I wanted to give them something.
We can mail it to
I would
them
at least give
for
them that.
Christmas.
I would
Yeah,
at least
give them
give them
that, it's
that.
not that bad, I
You
mean,
know,
Couldn't have changed too much.
it has the basics.
yes, it does, it has just about,
and then
The
we
doors
can,
are all marked up, you don't want them.
and we can
Yeah.
mail it, if and when we find an updated one,
yeah,
we'll mail it.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. I think that when the cemetery committee's done with that, then it'll come to the board and the board will sign it and then we'll go forward,
In
right?
December.
Yeah, and
In
you already
December.
gave a date of December,
Yeah, so,
that was gonna happen.
I mean, that's the new one. Up until then, it's either this or if we can find the other one. I don't know why it wouldn't have been recorded though,
We'll look.
unless somebody went, oh, well, I don't like it in that book, we'll put it in another one or something. Nah,
Oh, it is.
anyway, thank you.
Okay, you wanna talk about these?
Yep. Now, moving away from that, the keys. The town clerk was wondering if, they should have more keys. I gotta ask though, Nancy, where are all the keys that we have? Because the reason why we spent so much money to change the keys, or that lock especially, was because there was like something like, I don't know, 25 or 75 keys out there over the years
I
that got
can't
lost.
speak to whoever did whatever before,
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that right now we have 2 keys to sign out
Mhm.
to the police door. And what's happening is we're getting more than 2 people at a time that need a key,
Yeah,
so we can't sign them out because we don't have them.
are you getting the keys back within the
Yes,
24 hours?
But you have situations like the Girl Scouts who meet regularly,
Yeah, but they come during when we're here.
not necessarily, they
Well,
do sometimes. She
yeah.
comes and signs out a key very regularly.
Okay,
And, you know, people have work schedules and they can't come right back the next day or something. Heather Frost has a exercise class every Friday night.
Mhm.
So she tries to, in between work, come get a key, bring it back, get a key, bring it back
Yep.
every week.
yeah, we
So
didn't
we're
wanna give it out to anybody, so they have to bring it back.
So, I mean, then other committees, you know, or the trail guys there, the
Yep,
snowmobiles. I mean, we just had situations where the 2 have been out that we have, and we
Yep.
don't have another one to sign out.
So,
And
so
we get,
you
we're
would
getting
have
them back.
4, if this goes through, you'd have 4.
That's what
to
we're
loan out,
asking
yeah.
for, is just if we could have 4, then we could, you know, not have to keep trying to chase everybody, but there'd be some leeway in between people taking a key, bringing it back a few days later, somebody else needing it.
and would it be better if we, instead of 24 hours return, maybe make it a 48-hour return, but they have to return it.
Well, if you got more keys, you probably.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
If we had 2 more keys, it would solve the problem.
But if you had a lockbox, when you go out, and you're done with this, you drop it in there and they can get the key in the morning.
Oh, that would be
That's
cool.
yeah.
That's a
That
nice
way-
idea.
That way we don't have to buy more keys, and it's right there, and.
We have the keys, you don't have to buy more keys. Kevin has more
Yeah.
keys.
Oh, he does, okay.
But that way you get them back.
Yeah, but that's a good
We're
idea.
getting them
too.
back. I mean, they're
Yeah.
signing them in and signing them out, and they're
Yeah.
not, it's not that they're not doing it, it's just,
Right.
Okay, just need,
we only have 2.
all right, well, then I'm okay with that then,
So
as long as they're returning them.
it's not gonna change the procedures or
No,
protocol.
they still have to sign them out, they have numbers on them, they,
Mhm.
we get their information, their phone numbers, and
So what's the request for? How?
2.
Two
Two
more.
more? Okay. I'm okay with that.
You okay with that?
Lockbox is still a good idea.
Yes, oh, absolutely, I
But if you have a
absolutely.
lockbox, you don't need the other keys.
Well, yes.
Well, yeah, you would.
Yeah, cause if they're signing it out on like a Thursday
Thursday
for
or
events
Friday.
on Friday,
Friday
Saturday,
night,
Sunday,
yeah.
there's no one.
Well, I know
there-
Kevin
the-
has come in for the seniors, right? On a Sunday. They just called him and he came in.
Yeah, but if you've got one group in on a Friday morning, a different group on Friday afternoon, and then Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon, and then the town,
Right.
there's no offices open to be able to return the key or
Yeah.
to make it available again, and so then.
And you can't always rely on Kevin to be at home when somebody calls either, I mean,
They shouldn't
Yeah.
have to be.
no, they shouldn't have to be, time off, remember?
and you're paying them to do that.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
pretty gracious about coming.
Yes, he is, he's very good.
And he
He is
doesn't
very,
charge you
very
every
good,
time he sneezes.
I'm not taking that away. I need a motion then.
Is this on the administrative thing?
No, because this is
Okay.
new, so
I
just
will
be.
make a
Yes,
motion.
it is, it's down there.
Oh,
Is it?
yeah,
Well, you are just
Yeah,
like,
Page 3.
page 3.
right on the ball there, girl.
Okay, I make a motion to authorize Kevin Turnley to issue 2 additional police department door keys to the town clerk's office for the purpose of
Not long-term.
You can cross
No,
out.
not long, sir.
for the purpose of, signing it out to the public.
Right.
Can I either amend that or have another motion?
Yeah, nobody seconded it, so it could die.
If it's all right, Emily, I'd like to add on to what the motion was, that Kevin Turnley look into a lockbox for return of keys.
Yes, that's a good idea. Okay, so amended. How about a so second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion anymore with the board? Here or none? Motion's been made and seconded to authorize Kevin Turnley to issue 2 additional police department door keys to the town clerk's office for the purpose of, sign outs. And that, Kevin Turnley look into, getting a lockbox to drop the keys in at the door.
Make it a lot easier for you.
Okay?
We'll see.
Hopefully, yeah.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Did you vote?
I did.
Okay.
I said aye.
No.
I did, I swear.
I heard him.
Okay. I didn't, but my head aches, so. All right, so then there was the giving tree. This is a great idea, you need to listen to this. Go ahead.
We wanna do a project and hoping to engage the community in like a giving project for the holiday season. And the library, the Girl Scouts, the school guidance counselor, various other people have said they'd help us with it. And it's not gonna cost the town anything, but we just wanted to, get your okay with it.
What is it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've ever dealt with any of the nonprofits that do this kind of thing around this time of year, but you put up a tree and then you put ornaments on it, you get names from organizations of needy people, and then you just put genders, ages, and their desires of whatever they need, and then you come in and you take one, and you sign out, and then you say you'll bring back whatever the item is or something that you choose on your own, and bring it and wrap it and put it under the tree, and then somebody delivers them.
How do you know, who, when you wrap it up and you bring it back and you put it on the
Put your
tree.
tag on it, cause you take a
You
tag.
okay, cause I didn't know if cause names wouldn't be appropriate.
Girl Scouts are making the ornaments.
Oh, wow, yep.
No names or anything will be known, it
Right.
will be all very confidential.
See, I think that's such a great idea.
You just wanna put the tree in the
Foyer.
town office
In the
foyer,
foyer.
that's what you're aiming at?
Yep.
Yeah, I
You
got no
mean the
problem with that.
library's gonna remove some books so you can? Yep. Good.
So moved.
So moved.
So moved.
How about a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to, what would be the,
To allow the library, Girl Scouts, and town clerk's office to set the giving tree in the town foyer, in the town office building foyer.
that sounds good. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it.
Can I just ask you another question? How can you, maybe you answered it and I was reading something, how are you obtaining the list or the people?
From nonprofits and the school.
Like what I get the school, what nonprofits?
Well, it's through Fagelson in Brattleboro, he does.
Oh, the Secret Santa Project. Okay, so you just
We
want
can take some
so
names
you
from
want to
them.
adopt from the you want to adopt a family?
Not totally, that's part of it.
Okay.
The guidance counselor at the school is also helping
In
us.
addition to?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Well, we'll start somewhere, we're only gonna do like 25 to begin with, because if we take the names, we have to do it. So
Yes.
Right.
if people don't come through, then we don't wanna be left with, you know, what we
Wow.
can't do.
I'll come and get one.
So we'll just do like 25 or 30 to
I
see how it
definitely
goes.
will.
Okay, thank you.
Now, if you don't mind me borrowing money.
I do 3 at my work.
All right, okay, so now come back to the new business of, the, articles. But let me, if you don't mind, let's take that out of order, because, the personnel policy handbook, it just needs, we need to, put together a committee. This committee, and if you don't, does the select board mind if we take that out of order, because it's gonna take a lot longer for the, articles, and,
Not at all.
okay. So what we need to do this, Katrina, and myself worked on it for a long time, but she did the majority of the work. So part of it's, or most of it's done anyway, but, what we need is one select board member, and it's a daytime meeting, so it needs somebody that, you know, can come in during that time. The treasurer, just a minute, the treasurer, board secretary, and 2 citizens. That's what we had before on the, personnel policy handbook, and that's what I'd like to see, done now. And, there's Sandy, myself, and Jeff, that maybe Jeff, and I don't know if you can, during the day, so one of us maybe, could do that. I don't wanna commit myself, but I will if you don't want to.
I can try it, if it doesn't work with me,
Well, I can tell you what, I could, you know,
Yeah.
if it's a day you can't,
Then you can.
then I will.
Okay.
How's that sound for the
That's
board,
good.
okay? We'll have Katrina on that, the treasurer will be on it. Do you mind talking with with Cindy?
I don't mind.
Please, okay? And then 2 citizens, do we have 2 citizens in the audience? Mary Lynn and Bronna Clark and Bronna Smith.
Put that in the minutes, please.
No, I'm sorry, Bronna. Huh?
I love her last name.
I do
It's
too.
adorable.
Go ahead, say it then.
Selectboard.
It's not that bad.
Stop
I'll
it,
tell you, every once in a while, I still, and this is over 20 years, I've been divorced. Every once in a while, I still go, Bronna M. Clark. I'm volunteering and also liaisoning from the library, because the library has its own personnel policies, and we want them to be an appendix too, because they're slightly
That's a
different.
good idea. That's a very good idea.
They're slightly different, and we have them already done.
Okay.
so I can add them to.
So that would be, so you're going to be one of the citizens, correct?
Bronna Clark will be.
Okay.
No,
No, we're gonna put you on there,
Okay.
Ronna Smith. And Mary Lynn? Okay,
Can I just make a comment?
sure.
I would love to do this, but I'm not available during the daytime, and I'm a little disappointed that that's a qualification.
It isn't a qualification, but the thing is.
I understand. I completely get it. I
Because of the
completely understand.
treasurer and,
No, I get it.
and
I know.
Katrina.
Can we pick your brain?
I'm just voicing my opinion.
Well, how about if you're, if they, like anything that they talk about or anything like that, they would contact you and let you in on those.
Can be
Would that help?
advisory.
It'd be advisory.
That's fine.
Could
I
you do that?
I mean, since college, I've worked in payroll and I work very closely with HR. I don't work in an HR function,
Mhm.
but payroll and HR go
Well,
very
that's the
well
only
together,
reason
so.
why I said during the day was because, of the town
I
treasurer.
understand completely.
Okay.
I completely understand, but I would love to help, but.
Well, I'm gonna try to purposely diss you, but,
I know.
you know, it didn't work.
I know that.
Jeez, no, I'm kidding. But no, how about that? If you would be their advisor and they update you and everything like that, how's that? Katrina, can you do that?
Yeah.
All right. That sounds great. All right, so we can move on to, let's wait till you wanna do the articles
Well,
tonight?
I just have a couple of questions for Verona.
Okay.
Snap of it.
Yeah.
She's gonna.
Recording in.
Verona, last year,
This is my mic.
I know it is, I think we should put a pretty Z on it for Zorro or Zlaka for taking.
Would you like some diamonds put there for you, girl?
Sure, I do.
Okay,
Yes.
last year you had 2 unexpired terms to be filled and 2 3-year terms. What do you have this year?
We're all full.
But who's up? How many are
Oh,
up?
yeah, that's right.
Who's up for
Three.
election? 3 are up?
David- Yes, 3 are up. Janice and I believe, Janice and I are, were re-elected until 2018, and I believe, yeah. David Webb, Kathy Korb, and Don Petrowski are due, to be re-elected or someone else to replace them, I believe. I can check
At,
for sure.
for town meeting? Yeah, cause
At
we'll
town
need to,
meeting, yes.
yeah, all right.
Okay, that was my question, if you could, that'd be great.
You get that to me?
Yeah, would you get that to?
I think I wrote it
28,
down.
24 hours or?
Yeah, 24 hours would be great.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about, Kathy, about Don Petrowski, because Deb Berrier was,
Was the one.
she may have gone beyond, I'm not sure the dates, I can get that
Yeah.
Okay.
tomorrow or.
Anytime,
Wednesday.
if you
Yeah.
can get it, that'd be great.
Thank you. That was my only question.
I was trying to
Why
find.
did you ask me that?
terms.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, we just,
If you can.
did we just put in Dave Webb and?
But aren't they only appointed until?
They're only
They're only
appointed
appointed
until,
to-
to
yes.
the end of those terms.
Right, I know that, but I
They're
mean,
appointed 3, so.
No,
it
no, no,
looks-
they're only appointed till town meeting.
That's what
yeah, no,
Yes.
we know that.
That to the.
Thank you, Ronna.
Yeah,
Okay, but isn't there one coming up, or did we appoint 3?
Bronna and Janice are both coming up.
No.
No,
Oh,
they're
no,
good
no,
until
they're
two
good.
thousand
They're
eighteen.
good till 2018.
2018, they're
Yeah.
good till then.
Thank you. So just be the 3 of them.
Yeah.
If that's what it is.
All right.
Thanks. And your terms are all 3 years, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
They're
number,
all 3.
all right, so let's start with 5 and not go out of order here.
Yeah.
That's 3.
All right, number 5's off the books, right off the bat, right?
2006.
Number 6, 2 positions of additional stars, oh yeah,
Yeah, we
that's
can get rid of
off,
that
yeah. Okay, now the general fund, that's what, once we're done with the budget and everything, that's what will come to us, Cindy will get that to us, so that has to stay the same. However, you guys can choose to put that back to the end of the, town meeting, or leave it at the beginning, it's up to you, cause it has nothing to do with the rest of the articles. So, I mean, that's up to us.
Unless there's a strong reason to have it first.
I think the reason why they wanted it first was because people were fresh and
Yeah, that's
getting
right.
there and not, you know, late at
At
night
the
and,
end,
and the
there's
budget
fewer
just
people
going
there.
through, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
So that people can, they'll be there longer, more people be there longer, and they can, you know,
yeah, that's right.
dig at things if they need to.
No,
Okay.
I think leave it where it is.
Yeah, all right. Is that okay with the board? All right. And then, every year, do we nominate?
Every year.
Okay, so, and it'll probably be James Brown and Barbara Mosley, they, you know, unless we hear from them, otherwise, I think that it will probably be them, because they're the ones that distribute the marsh fund. Is Barbara okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I
Took a day off.
I know, I was just saying, I was like, Barbara's not here.
Barbara's not
She's
here, we
always
just
here.
noticed. Well, that's a good thing, I forgot, I made her something, and I forgot to bring it, so good thing. And then, the Vernon Free Library. Okay, library, they'll bring their own, articles, so we'll leave them for them, when they bring them, we'll add them to ours. And, oops, that's 14. And the Elderly Assistance Fund, now, oh, we have Mary Lynn here. Will you be asking for this amount again, and it's an every year thing? But at least for this year, right?
Yes,
All right, so that would stay as the 20,000, correct?
yes.
So that motion, that article is a good article. Okay, and, oops, and number 7's a good article, of course, it won't be number 7, but.
Right.
And number 8 is a good article. All right, Bristol's Library, Article 15. Number 16, which is, the appropriation, let's see.
Human
Is it-
Service Organization.
Yeah, the Human Services, why doesn't it
Services.
say that? But anyway, there, I don't know, I know that the, on the counter of the town clerk's office, they have a couple of the.
Visiting nurses.
They delivered theirs too,
They
Yeah.
did,
but I didn't, they did it at the end of the day, I didn't get a chance to verify it.
okay, that doesn't matter, that's as long as,
Right.
you know,
That
they
process
will-
is started.
that process has started, and we'll get the list of them afterwards. And,
Can I
Yeah.
say something on that? You know, visiting nurse in hospice used to be the Vermont visiting nurses,
yes,
and it was always part of the select board budget. And the select board at the time, for very good reasons, wanted their budget to go down significantly, so they made it as a petition as part of a human service organization. Do we wanna keep it that way, or do we wanna put it in our budget?
Well,
I feel that the town should vote on it,
Well, they
either
do,
way,
yeah.
they're going to.
I guess my concern would be showing favoritism to one,
That's true.
then
It's just that
Every-
it
every
stands
other-
out, like, $6,500 as opposed to 510.
well, I think generally, really, if somebody has a petition, proper petition, it's gonna go through. I mean, regardless
No,
of
I
the amount.
just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
Do they specify the amount on the petition?
Yes.
It's pared down considerably to what it used to be.
Yeah, that's why I remember,
Since
so
you've
I didn't know
required
if it was.
petitions, it now is.
Yes,
a lot
it was
less.
just way too much, everybody was asking. You know.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think they have an awesome service to,
I do too.
which my family has benefited also, but I'm just concerned if you pick one out, the rest of them are gonna be like, what about us?
I agree.
Good point. Thank you.
All right, so that's a good article, up to at least it being there. The CUSIC scholarship, do we wanna continue with scholarships?
Yes.
should ask
Yes, voters.
I would say no,
No?
but
No, wait,
I'm in the same line of thinking as Jeff, but that's I would like to leave it up to the town.
okay. All right, so we'll leave that. All right, and the capital plan is a good, article as well. All right, and they will have 1 or 2, as usual. 2 at least, 3 maybe. So those are good articles. Town road upgrade, do we wanna continue with that? That has a,
I think we need to ask David that.
yeah,
Town road upgrade fund, 100,000.
yeah, I know, he's already been to us, I believe.
Yep, he has.
Yep, so
He
that's a
always
good
brings
one.
this thing. Do we wanna bring that to the town or not?
Yes. I think so.
Yeah, I think the town should decide on it. What is,
Oh, I agree. It's up to us.
does he ever, speak about what he's doing? Cause like I
Yes,
remember.
he does,
He does?
yes.
Because I remember somebody questioned like why that section of Pond Road was done 2 summers ago when a lot of people felt like it was in perfectly fine condition and what that they, you know, the work that they did do.
If I remember
There
right,
was-
he's talking about improving Huckle Hill Road next, right?
Well, I just
Think, I don't know.
I remember that someone questioned the Pond Road top paving and he said it was voted on a town meeting and I said, in my memory, I didn't remember that specifically. I didn't remember it being specific to Pond Road, so I just didn't know if he spoke to it or.
What happens is we will pick one of us to say the article, and, or make the motion. And then, like David being in the audience, we direct any questions to David. And then he answers them and tells them what's being done, so on and so forth. I mean, you know, maybe the town don't wanna do it anymore, I don't know, but,
However, he does
He
let us
does-
know ahead of time,
yeah.
just in case there's a snowstorm.
Yeah.
Which has happened.
yes. So whoever is their liaison, perhaps will be speaking on, would be speaking on it if David, you know, has a snowstorm. Okay, and the professional services fund, that's a good article as well, probably, if you wanna continue with, fighting these lawsuits that we have with, of course.
So that's essentially where that goes, is
Yes.
towards legal fees.
You know, we just ended with, TransCanada. And,
Yeah, but then we just sent
We've
a
got a long way to go.
a revised property tax bill to VY, and
Yeah.
even though we shouldn't be in the middle of it, you know, we're gonna be,
Oh, of course,
so.
so that probably wants to be remaining there as a good article as well. And then the reappraisal fund, they put in 20,000 every year trying to build up because it's gonna be quite a costly thing, when they do a reappraisal. Now, I do know that, they're discussing, a reappraisal in the tax committee, maybe. I'm not sure if it's important to do one now or later or when, but we were told that it was gonna be
I think
Big
we're getting to the
expense.
point where we have to have one.
Yeah,
I think we're getting close
yeah,
to
'cause property values are dropping.
Yeah.
Dispersion, I think it's
right.
getting close to.
I don't
So-
think it was a tax committee thing, she was sitting here,
Oh, maybe it was her.
it was.
Yeah,
It was.
yeah, it was,
It was
okay,
here.
good, I'm glad. That was that, so that's a good article, and maybe, if, somebody would maybe talk to, Carol and see if we need to, up that a little bit or not. I gotta find what we have in there,
I
professionals.
can talk to her, I gotta see her about something.
Okay, thank you. I
So
appreciate that.
essentially, it's just, if 20,000 is appropriate,
Yeah, do we need more? I can't find the,
more or less.
got the Cusick one, but can't find the, reappraisal, professional services. I can't tell you what's in the reappraisal fund. Well, as of, June 2013, at 20,000, so it's 171 plus interest. So that's what's in there now,
Plus
about
20 from last
Yeah,
year.
yeah, that's what I had
Oh,
added,
okay.
20.
How much did we get from the state toward the reappraisal?
She told us, didn't she? I don't remember.
I don't know,
Just curious.
I don't know. There's not a big,
No.
thing about it in here. So, yeah, all right, you let us know, and this is just kind of running through right now to get it
We also
started.
need to add an article for cemetery deeds.
Cemetery
The
plots,
yes,
cemetery
right.
plots,
Yes.
sale of cemetery
And I
plots.
have
Sale of-
another, the war memorial.
Yeah, the war
Sale
memorial
of-
and
So you have a bunch
Cemeteries.
more, hang on a second.
flags,
Cemeteries,
flag holders in the
Yeah.
cemetery.
yeah, but that's all under.
That's all under
There
one
was
article.
Yes, one article, and, you'll speak to that when we get there, and
Yes.
what are we gonna call it? War
memorial.
War Memorial
Yeah.
Fund?
That's the war memorial right over there.
Yes, I know that,
Chris,
what,
when we bring the new rules in for the cemetery, we have 2 suggestions for that article,
okay?
for the plots.
All right, very good. All right, just a minute. That's not what I was asking.
Well, if you're saying, are you saying for the markers?
No,
Oh, okay.
No,
Sorry,
the
no,
flag.
no, because if we got to establish a fund, we have to have two. If we have to establish a new fund, we have to have 2 articles, for that. So if that's what you're asking for, probably want to, because the townspeople said that an appropriation won't be held over a year.
Correct.
So we'll want to ask the townspeople to establish a fund, so that'll be one article, to establish, that's why I was asking, what do we wanna call it? The
Right.
War Memorial or what?
We can call it the war memorial, and then the
War Memorial
additional
Fund?
item is gonna be,
Flag
Um,
place.
I don't know what you would call it, it's for the
No.
flag holders for the cemetery.
I know, but, you just have to tell them that. We're gonna say, now you're gonna, put money into the newly established, that's how it's gonna be written. The second motion will be to raise and appropriate, what did you say, 2,500, right?
Yes, I think that covers.
That includes everything, correct?
Yes,
All right, so to the newly established, War Memorial Fund, and then they're gonna ask you, why do you need the $2,500? Then you're going to say, because we're gonna put, we're gonna get flags out of this, we're gonna get, those markers,
Flag holders
the
for
flag
the
holders or whatever,
cemeteries.
yes,
And add additional names to the wall.
that's right, yep. So, that's, okay. If you, well, you could list them out, but,
Do we really need a fund for it?
For that little amount of money?
That's what I'm wondering, yeah.
$2,500?
I mean, it's not something, I would hope that we would continue to have residents that serve in the military, but
you can't have it as an appropriation, so your
No.
money won't be held.
I would think, what about more of adding a line item to the budget? No, why?
I don't know, but I don't.
It just seems like, cause then it's tied up in a fund and you can't use it except for that, and then, so I mean, if it doesn't go over $2,500, then you've got $100 sitting in a fund that you can't touch until you have, another name to add to the memorial or something. I just didn't, I don't know.
You usually need about $500 a year to buy flags and the markers, the bronze markers.
Yeah, I think we figured 750.
That had gone up.
For flags.
Yeah,
Yeah.
flag,
We
right,
didn't quite
because we
spend
had,
like that,
we
but
had.
then there's a lot of markers that need to be, flag holders that need to be gotten, there's a lot missing.
I have to have you, if you're gonna talk from the audience, I have to have you come up here because she can't hear you on the tape. And we can't quote you, and we need to quote you. Yes, we do.
Well, it's 750 is what we figured for that portion of it, and then the rest towards names.
I don't care, what's the pleasure of the board, you wanna put it in the,
I think it kind of makes sense to do that versus having a fund that way. There can.
yeah, because we can't keep an appropriation.
Correct.
Unless we ask the people to take that restriction off the appropriations.
Probably, I mean,
Can you?
for this, it's probably not.
Just put it in the budgets,
Okay.
for that amount of money.
I don't care.
Can you explain the appropriation thing to me again?
Well, not last year, the year before, a citizen stood up and asked the townspeople if, during our budget thing, because we had so many that, so many appropriations that, and had been there quite a while, that after a year, the appropriations go away, and the townspeople voted for it.
I think that's a state recommendation too.
Is it?
I think so.
I don't know that,
So
I
it
remember
either
hearing
has to,
something like that.
so it either has to be part of the budget or a fund?
Or a fund.
Okay, gotcha.
For
I
it
mean,
to
if you
stay.
wanna keep
For
it
it to
for any
stay.
length of time.
Or it disappears
Or
at
it
the end of the year
disappears at the
if
end
it
of the
doesn't
year.
get used.
It's gonna get it's
Well-
gonna disappear anyway, because it's in the budget and you haven't used it, it's gonna disappear. You're
Yeah.
not gonna build anything up. If you
Yeah.
wanted to build up this fund and you wanna build up the War Memorial and not lose, the money, then then I would recommend establishing a fund. If you're not gonna mind, you're gonna use 7,500, so that leaves you with what? 17,500, something like that, for,
I know what you're saying, yeah.
you know what I mean? And if you don't
Mhm.
spend all that to put the names on it or something, you're gonna lose it at the end of the year anyway.
So buy extra flags,
Huh?
buy extra flags.
Yeah, but the point is that,
But I mean, if you're getting close to losing it, buy extra flags, in case the next year they don't budget for the flags.
yeah, well, that you could do that too,
Mhm.
so. What's the pleasure of the
I
board?
think I agree with Sandy about, unless you change opinion about putting it in the budget.
Yeah, I still think it should be in the budget. Seems cleaner.
Yeah, well, either way, it's clean, I
Yeah,
mean, you're
no,
not
but
hiding
it's-
anything.
No, you're not and you're definitely not hiding, it's just like, why set up a fund for $2,500?
All right,
Where's
and
another thing
I'm
that has
sure
to be
the
audited?
treasurer could,
Hmm?
It's another thing that has to be audited too.
Yeah,
I
right.
was gonna say that.
Yeah.
One more fund.
yeah, okay, so, you will ask Cindy to set up a line item in our new line item in our budget
Yeah.
called the War Memorial, I guess, supplies, what, I don't know, what are you gonna call it?
We'll
Or
call
what
it the-
about, something having to do
You
with
could have
honoring
flags, you
veterans?
could have markers,
Used to be
you
Memorial
could, then
Day
you could,
fund.
you know what I mean, you could
What-
have.
what
did it used to be? What did you?
Memorial Day. That's what we used to call it, Memorial Day.
I know, but it's really not, it's
I
for
know,
the War Memorial.
but yes, what we used to call it.
Oh,
But it's
Well,
not just the War Memorial.
That's why I'm
It's
thinking.
everything, it's the markers for the cemetery.
well, I know, but
it's-
you can list that, you know, you can list them separate, or you can put them in, a separate line item, $750, go ahead, I'm sorry.
What if we just call it a Veterans Memorial? And then that way it's not specific
That's
to
right.
the War Memorial, it's a line item to memorialize all veterans in any way that we see fit. You know, that it's not quite as restricted to the War Memorial
Yeah,
or
okay.
cemetery
I like that.
memorials,
Okay,
it's
I like
just,
that.
yeah, I like that too, the Veterans Memorial, that sounds very good. All right, and, I don't know, Cindy will know what to call
Yeah.
it, what are we gonna call it, ones for the
Supplies.
flags, I would say, Memorial Day supplies.
I think we're just gonna
Is a
call
line
it
item.
the
It
it can all
Veterans
go under the-
Memorial.
because the flags only are only posted at veterans. The flag holders are only there for veterans, and the War Memorial, the names
Yeah,
that engraved
okay, so it
are
could be just one line item, I don't know what you're gonna call it.
They just
Trying to
said
Veterans Memorial.
Veterans Memorial.
I know, but it has to have like a department, you know what I mean, it's a,
Can't it just be under
It would
ours?
be in ours, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The select boards?
okay, all right, that's what I was trying to get to, I'm
Oh.
sorry, yeah. See, I told you, you're talking to a goat again. Yes.
Oh, good morning.
Okay, and,
So then you also need, per David, parking lot fund of $2,500.
what,
$2,500
why?
for the parking lot?
That's what he's,
Don't we
no,
already have a
but
parking lot
that
fund?
can't be possibly right, but although I thought that's what
No.
he said. That's what I wrote down.
I thought we just repaved all the parking lots so that we didn't.
Yes.
No, but there was another one that he had on his, I got both of these from him, so I can
Do
confirm
we
the
already have
price,
an
but-
established parking lot
You,
fund? I think we
previously
do.
you have, but
Yeah.
there was no article, he didn't put an article in last year for it.
Okay, but what's the parking lot he's doing this year?
He told us what it was, but I can't
Cause
remember
he's
it off
done
the top of my head. There was another
done
one.
the-
This is done, the fire department.
It's already been done.
School's
School,
been done,
I don't know
this
if
has
there was
been
one
done,
other he
Rec's
was
been
talking
done.
about.
Is it the parking lot at the highway
Oh,
garage?
fire department.
No, he
No,
didn't, he did that
The
too?
fire department was just done.
I thought the highway was done too, recently.
No.
No,
I don't think the highway was done.
no, I
right
think it
here
was
is
the highway.
Highway.
No, I thought it was the highway.
So we do have a fund, right?
You do have a fund, he wants to put an article to put money into it.
I think so.
Yeah. You know what, I'd like to see,
Parking lots maintenance fund.
Yes.
I'd like to see a table of contents. You know, so you could, in every fund was
It's
labeled.
always been like that.
I know. Anyway, okay, so, so that would be a new article.
I'll confirm the amount.
It may
Yes,
have been
please.
2,500 into the previously
It-
established to
I
build it up.
But,
I think it
but,
is.
but, the,
How much is in there?
it says deduct parking lot resurfacing, town highway garage, 61,000. That was during 13-14, so why would,
Why would we?
yeah.
Who's the liaison to the highway? Hi there.
Ask David.
Ask him about it.
David.
I know he mentioned it.
Okay, ask David.
It was back when he was talking about Saxford.
All right, so we'll leave that off for right now until we hear back, because we're just
Question.
starting these right now. Yeah, because every place has been done, yeah.
I don't know, he had another, there was another one that
Isn't
he
gonna
said.
cut it.
I think it may be just to keep feeding the fund for the future.
Yeah, so it's not a big
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah, well, that may be too.
But
And
we'll find
that,
out.
and if that's the case, then that's,
You know, that's up to the townspeople.
And then the other one is a newly established, I have parentheses 2, so I'm thinking there are 2 of them. Culvert fund.
Yes, I remember that.
Remember that one? So that would be established.
Yep, that's new established, all right, and then how much is it you want to raise?
He did not have a, price on that yet.
Okay, so that's, new articles. All right. Once we get these all done, then we'll make a decision whether we're gonna, have them or not, I mean,
I can
you
get
know,
them
once
back.
they're written up and stuff, especially these new ones.
And then,
The cemeteries, we've already discussed, this one here.
What?
No.
Oh, emergency reserve fund. We need to establish an emergency reserve fund.
Oh, that's right. Is that what it's called, emergency?
That's what they
Or
called
just
it.
not a reserve
No,
fund?
they called it an emergency
Okay.
reserve fund.
All right, now, for Jeff's benefit, that's what, I don't know if you were still here when the auditors came in, the outside auditors, and said that we needed to, begin to establish a, emergency reserve fund, so that we have 20% of the, budget in this fund, just in case, I mean, it's a
Yeah.
reserve fund.
And they suggested just starting to build it.
Yes, start to
Not
build
that we
it.
had to place
We're not going to-
20%
yeah.
in
So
right away.
it's 20% of the budget as a rainy day, well, no, not rainy day, but
yeah.
Kinda like,
Kinda
yes,
like the
it's
same
kinda like
idea.
it.
kinda like if you get fired.
Yeah, no, kinda
you
like
go.
if, we don't have the money to, or the people don't have the money to, I guess,
Yeah.
That's a great
to
idea.
support the town, then that fund will support the town,
Probably
keep
should have
it running.
been, probably should have been done, started a long time.
Yeah, well, what we're doing is, where they're getting the money is, from the money that's left over on June 30th, from, the different departments and stuff like that, that's where they're grabbing the money from, so. But you have to establish the fund first.
Good.
Emergency reserve, I thought it was just reserve. All right, and what was the other one? Was there another one?
You said, you talked about an article to not mail the town reports. That was maybe before you guys found the article that said, well, because an article was
No.
made,
No, yes, there was an article that was made, I don't have my
To
stuff
mail
with
it.
me,
To
to
mail
mail
it.
it.
You need to
Now you have
an
to,
article.
cause I think it was 2 years ago or a year ago, 2 years ago perhaps, that, the people said they wanted it mailed to them. So now we either have to have a, article to.
You can either adhere to that, keep adhering to that, or the discussion was perhaps we need an article to not.
Well, we don't have to continue to, we don't need one to continue to adhere
No,
to
no,
it.
no,
We
I
have
know.
to adhere to it.
Right,
But what we need is, one to take it away if that's what.
if that's what you want to do.
If that's what the board wants.
You mean to take away mail-in of,
Mailing the town report.
I think it's worth, just for some people alone.
Yeah, cause not everybody has, internet, not everybody
Well,
has
But
a,
is it available electronically?
not yet, but
It's
it will be.
going to be.
Won't be.
But, and it's not that it wouldn't be made available, it would still be available at the town clerk's office, and I'm sure that if somebody who was homebound could call the town clerk's office and say, I would like it, could you mail it? It's not that we wouldn't be making it available, period, it would just be, it would release us from the restriction of having to mail one copy to every single household. It'd still be made available, you'd have to come
If
pick
you
it
can
up.
pick it up or you.
Yeah,
Separate
or it
town
could be
meeting.
electronic, but I mean, just other avenues, but just releasing us from that rule that we have to mail it.
How much money would it save to not mail?
I think she said about, no, for mailing that, I think she said it was about $400 or $500, but,
The idea was that you possibly could cut down on the number that you printed,
right,
Yeah,
and that's where your expense,
that's the
biggest
expense,
expense
was
comes
the
in.
printing,
Yes.
right.
Yes,
I think
Print-
that
yeah,
would be-
printing
So
and postage.
I think that was about the $1,600.
Yeah, you're right, I think it was printing and postage
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
made.
Well, we could ask the townspeople.
I think it's worth asking 'em. I mean, if they want it, then they shoot down the article.
Okay, then get with, Carol and, get a copy of that article that was made two years ago, and it's probably in this, no, this one doesn't have, the previous year's, minutes, and, let's see, just this one.
I've got 2 years ago, I was gonna look at it.
That was made by Len Howard.
Yeah, oh, then it was probably when Len was, still select board,
Yeah, it was made
and
2
so,
years ago.
let's see, when was he done, 2010, I think.
One way or the other, we'll find a copy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get a
So
copy.
ask Carol, and then what you're gonna, then the article will be written up, you know, opposite of that. Same way but opposite,
Right.
you know, okay? So let me keep that down. As if something, I don't know if you take the restriction, you're gonna ask them something like that, you know, okay? Okay, all right, and then there wasn't anything else, was there, that we discussed?
Not that I had a note on, but I will go back through the budget minutes, because I think that's where we kind of threw them out there.
Okay, we do had a hand up here.
David Clark's mother reporting in.
Clark's
mother also.
You are too funny.
They're my two children.
I never met him, but your daughter is beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. I'll tell you outside of here what's happened to her in the last week. Nothing to her personally. And also my son and his family and his mother-in-law
Yes.
are in health.
Good.
Because they
They live in France.
Thank you, Chris, for your email. Several things. Carol, I think you asked her to, instructed her to, the town report will be just the finances, and the reports, like from the library director and the library trustees, the anecdotes will be online, available online. Am I right?
No, yes, sorta, kinda, but she is going to if like the select board we may write one up, she'll put that in there. I mean, she will add them.
Okay.
It's like the school, they may put things, but I don't know.
That
She's
was
not
not
hounding
my
people for it.
reflection.
Pardon?
She won't be
Well,
hounding
okay.
people for them.
I'm sorry, I'm.
She's not gonna hound people for
Okay,
them.
well, we have
Yes,
ours ready.
yeah, that's
anyhow.
exactly right. She was going to take them, but, not hound them for it.
Okay, I believe you,
Maybe
we
I'm
should
wrong.
check.
Emily thinks I'm wrong, so.
I do too.
I do too.
Okay.
My recollection that was what we were going to mail to people was going to be what is statutorily required, the
Yeah.
finances.
Yes, but not the anecdotes.
The anecdotes were not going to be mailed to people, but those would be made
That's
available
my
online.
memory too.
Yeah,
we
but
also-
no, she wasn't gonna be hounding people for them. If you had them, you had them. If you didn't,
Yeah,
Um,
okay.
you're lost.
Also, I think we should check the statutes for whether or not they should be mailed out or not, because a couple of years ago, some towns were not mailing them out, and I don't know what happens statutorily on that. It isn't just that we had an article on them, and also.
Well, Carol did send me something, I mean, and I think it was, the statute for it and stuff, and I just don't have it with me tonight, so I can't, I mean,
Yeah,
I can't even pronounce your name tonight, so,
Same here sometimes,
Yeah.
especially if I've been drinking.
so,
for
I'm not
some-
gonna even try to remember what she sent me, so.
Yeah, it's not clear to me either, because I recall something in the Reformer that said something about like Manchester didn't mail them out and people could go get them.
Mhm.
And also, I'd like you to consider an article that moves the town meeting to one day from two, like the
Full
first-
day?
Yeah, you campaigned on that.
Oh, yeah.
That was your only platform at Plank, and I liked it.
I wish it was back to one day.
That was 2 elections ago. I don't know if you wanna do that or not, but I would like to see
I
it.
don't, but I'm only one on the board.
Because I like all-day meetings as opposed to.
Because, I mean, some nights it's so long and
Yeah,
tedious
exactly.
that,
So make it.
And and if we did it one day, if it's on the voting day, I don't know, I mean, I just think that we just, I
I
don't
hear
know.
a lot
But that's
from
my-
people my age that work,
Yeah,
that they're
It's
very
a state
disappointed
holiday.
that they're not able to
Yeah.
attend.
But it's a state holiday.
Doesn't matter.
But there's a lot of people my age,
what's,
Nancy, and my age, that don't come out at night. I do, but.
I like to go at night.
Yeah, so, it's either or, it's weighing it,
What, does it have to be on that Tuesday?
Oh, yes, that's
Vermont?
law, that's
Yes.
state law.
Okay, cause I know in New Hampshire,
First
like,
Tuesday of the
they
month.
do it differently,
First
so.
Tuesday, following the first Monday.
Yes, following the first Monday, right.
Alright.
Got that
No,
memorized.
because, this year, it's the first, it's
You
the
want the
first
dates?
Tuesday
Put it on
of the
the-
month,
No,
not,
it's the first Tuesday of the month, you're right.
yes,
And
it's not the
March 1st.
following the first Monday.
Yeah, it used to be the first Tuesday following the first Monday of the
It's
month.
in the administrative report.
It's March 1st.
Yeah, cause the 29th is the first day of town meeting, the second one
Yes,
is,
February 29th and
Right.
March 1st.
Yeah.
Deadline for the articles, via petition is January 14th.
yes,
So that would also be for.
that would be.
Not for, it's a different date for.
Article,
Candidates. is
January
different.
14th, at 5, what time does the town clerk's office
5
close? It's
p.m.
5? So it'd be 5, and then we always, accept them or add to them that, either that night or that, right after that. So I don't know what's the sixth,
Where's your calendar?
It's a
I
Thursday.
know,
It's a Thursday, the 14th.
oh, it is?
Yeah.
So we would be meeting the following Monday, so that would be okay, yeah, all right.
And can I just clarify about the mailing of the town meeting? I pulled up Carol's email, it said, in March 1st, 2010 town meeting, Article 28
2010,
reads, Leonard Howard III made the motion that the town authorize the town report to be distributed by hand, email, posted on the website, and/or mailed, instead of being mailed to every household prior to the annual town meeting. After much discussion, the motion was defeated on a vote of 53 in the negative and 27 in the affirmative. So that was the actual one, I just wanted that to be.
I know, but she also sent me a statute too.
Yeah, I didn't pull up the statute, I just wanted
Okay.
to, because we had said one
So
thing,
we
I wanted
can
to make
use
sure.
that same
You
language.
could use the same language, if you wanted to try it
Yeah.
again.
Yep. I also would put in there, no.
Once we check the statutes.
Yeah,
Right, yes.
yep.
So there wasn't any further discussion on 1 day versus 2 night?
That, I don't know, I didn't go past it yet, we haven't gone past it, what's the board's pleasure? Do you wanna go back to 1 day? Well, I mean, go
Who
to
gets-
1 day, or?
Who gets
I
the
think
choice?
that the town,
Yeah.
yeah, you have to have an article for that, yeah.
Well, I would appreciate if it was only 2 nights, as opposed to last March where it was 3 nights.
That's right.
Yeah.
I
But
agree
I don't
with
know,
you.
I can, yeah, 3 nights is too much. I can see both points of view.
Yeah.
I know that having it 1 day seems to build more camaraderie amongst
Well,
the
the
people
thing
that
is
attend.
that if you
Right.
have it 1 day, that's all day long that you're gonna ask people to sit in those lousy chairs
Mhm.
that kill my back, you know, and I can't even imagine who else's backs are dying by the time that, you know, the thing is over. They're not comfortable, and to ask somebody to be there all day, you'd either have to do it on a Sunday, a Saturday, or, you know, because you have to allow the people the right to come, I would think. Right?
But it has to be on Tuesday.
Yeah, we don't have a charter.
Well, I know.
Yeah, so it's not gonna be
We
on.
don't have a charter.
No, it has to be on it has to be on, voting has to be on a Tuesday.
Well, but that's,
Unless you have a charter.
so that's
Some
the thing
charters.
is that you have, cause I
You don't-
know,
you don't.
like I
We
said,
don't have a
and-
charter.
well, no, I know,
So
but I,
the meeting actually doesn't have to be on Tuesday, just
That-
voting.
that's what I'm wondering.
That is town meeting, voting and this.
Both days are town.
Both days are town meeting, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Both actions,
Yes.
the budget
They
and the actual
consider it all
ballots.
one meeting.
All one meeting, it's a one meeting.
But if you start it, so just, cause I know New Hampshire does it on, they're supposed to do it on a certain day too, but there are towns, and maybe they're chartered, maybe that's the issue.
You have to
Is
bring
that
in
they, and I know it's a different state too, but like Hinsdale holds theirs on a Saturday.
Mhm.
So I didn't know, but it's because we're not chartered,
Right.
or because we're a different state.
And I do know that, that people had asked for it to be on a Saturday, but because we have a strong, 7-day Adventist following that we never did ask for that because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and Sunday.
And we had some Jewish people.
And
in
Sundays
town.
people, right, and Sunday, and I know, I would, yeah,
Yeah.
and then Sundays because people wanna go to church,
Right.
so,
We should have family come too.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know, my personal preference is the 2 evenings, but I mean,
That's mine too, but
Mine too.
I just wanna talk about it.
yeah.
Sorry, Sandy.
Well, I wonder.
Sorry, Bronna.
Well, I wonder if it's something that, so do we make that?
No.
No.
Well, that's the
We
thing.
would put an article in.
So,
If we don't approach it, somebody, a resident has to approach it during town meeting.
But they can't take action.
They can't take
right,
action
because
on
they
it.
have to do the article
Right.
by petition.
Right.
But, I mean, I think,
It's up to us to put the petition in or not, so.
right, I don't know. I'm torn because it is such a hot topic.
Yep.
And,
And then we have to
Yeah.
meet on Tuesday, right? All day, Tuesday, and that's voting as well.
And I think if that happened, you might wanna approach the school and see if the voting could take place in the gym. I think that's how they.
At the
do-
same time we're having a meeting?
Yes, they do that, that's how they do it.
They have a meal too.
Yeah, I know.
I
it's
was
always
thinking
nice.
that too. I was
Yeah.
thinking it would be great to have a meal before, because it starts at what, 6 or 6:30?
Oh, then I'm putting in an article for new chairs.
I mean,
Get rid of those lousy chairs that hurt your back.
No, but,
BYOC.
Yes, Oh,
Buy
could do
your
that.
own chair. Just put on a meal.
Could do that, definitely could
And
do
you'd
that.
sit there and.
I mean,
it
I
was great.
think having the childcare has been huge for turnout.
Yeah, that's true.
Having, you know, because,
Oh, definitely.
you know, I mean, that's why I didn't attend before, it was because it was, you know, I had kids and it wasn't worth it to me to hire a babysitter to come, you know.
Well, the rec does that
Um,
now, and.
Right, which
you
I
know,
think is
it's been
fantastic.
Absolutely
Um,
great.
And I don't know. I mean, it sounds like
And
the
that
majority of
part
our
goes
precedents.
away for a full day,
Right,
because it's
Yeah,
volunteers
yeah.
that do it for
Yeah.
the rec, and
mhm,
we're not gonna get volunteers for all day thing.
No.
So, it
Try.
either
Not with
goes
some
away,
kids.
or somebody has to pay to
right.
have childcare.
And I think with the turnout that we've had the last 2 years, I'd say that people are making it a priority to come in the evening, and I do think that the majority of people are still of working age and would prefer to have it in the evening.
It would be nice if the state would tell the employers it's a state holiday and your employee can go to town meeting and they will not be docked. But that's not gonna happen.
Well, you can't, otherwise you shut down the entire state
I
for
know.
a day,
Right.
it's not feasible.
No, but it's not fair to the people.
It's very
You
true,
know, I mean-
yeah, I hear about it at work every year.
Yep.
Okay,
People that live in
I have a
Dummerston and
question from the
everything.
audience.
I was just gonna say, I wish that you considered the fact that on Tuesday nights, a lot of people can't come to the town meeting because they're counting votes.
But you
That's
have the,
always been a problem.
you have the machine
It's
now,
always
right?
been, yeah.
No, only using that for the presidential.
You're not gonna, but it's available to use.
If you wanna spend the money,
I think it's what, 1,500?
a lot of money for the.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's just, it always stops them all from being able to come to the town meeting.
Yeah, it
because
does,
they're
it does,
doing-
yeah.
But I don't know if you can
Just
make
the
it much
counters.
later.
Do we set the poll times?
No.
No,
Saturday.
no, thank you, Nancy.
No.
No,
They have to be able to come to state.
yeah.
We see it.
Se-
It's
7 to 7.
This, the BCA says that.
Yeah.
Oh. The BCA sets it?
So they're supposed to.
Yeah, but the whole state goes 7 to 7. I
No.
mean, it's,
Some of them actually go 5:30 to 7. And some of them go
But
10
I
to
know,
7.
but I
Have to be
mean,
minimum?
It has to be
seven's
at least 10 in the morning till 7 at night.
10 to 7, oh, well that, okay.
That
I
kinda
was gonna
did
say
that.
7 to 5, but even that wouldn't, you know, people who don't get out of work until 5 wouldn't. they'd have
I don't
difficulties.
think that the way it's been run so far has hurt anybody. However, I have been a counter at that time and wanted to be there. So I understand, but, Tim does wait on Tuesday
Yes.
nights.
As long as he can.
He tries to wait as long as he can, so,
It's a presidential primary this time.
I know. But maybe that could be, you know, asked of the, BCA to, kind of, oh, can we? No, we can't.
You can't go any earlier.
Can't change it.
No, can't change it.
It's
Never
tough,
mind.
maybe. But maybe ask the
We can-
select board if they would pay to have it programmed for you.
That's an idea.
BCTV?
No, for the county,
Oh. You mean use the county machine?
yeah.
Oh.
Cost you $1,500, guys.
Well, that's what I used, it was a few years ago, I don't know what it is now. Is it through LHS?
Yeah, it's about that.
Yeah. Well, it hasn't gone up then, that's good.
Well, they're making it mandatory for everybody now. It's gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We
so
can always
let's,
put a plea out in the newsletter for, you know,
Donations?
no, please vote earlier so that the counters are
Yeah,
able
make
to
any
make it.
difference.
It doesn't make a difference.
It wouldn't make a
Can't
difference.
open the
Open the
polls.
Oh, that's right.
can't open it till 7. Anyway, article or no? I say no.
I'd say no.
Okay.
No.
Anything else? Was there another person who had a hand up? Was it you? Please come up. I'm sorry, Nancy. We should put in for, more microphones.
I need longer
We should take
cable.
out the back row
As
seats.
far as the town report is concerned, since nobody really remembers, I think somebody should just contact Carol, because I thought she said if people got their reports in, it would be in the town
Yeah,
report.
I thought that.
So I would think you just ask Karen.
Yeah, oh, we will, thank you. Okay, so articles are pretty much taken care of.
What about,
Oh, yes, that-
Article 23?
yes, thank you.
Two installments, I know.
Yep, we have.
I gotta get
several
the
times-
dates.
Several times over the years.
They've asked for 4.
Yeah,
Right.
or 3, or,
Yep.
I guess I'd always preferred 2, and I'm sure probably the treasurer would too, but, for taxes are gonna go up, cash flow becomes a little more, something to think about.
Mhm.
So, I don't know what the mechanics are as far as looking at installments or.
Can you ask the treasurer?
4 installments?
Yeah, anywhere from
3.
3 to 4,
More than 2.
more than 2, anyway,
Okay.
yeah.
And if it stays at 2, why is it not 6 months between each installment?
Well, because you have from July 1st till June 30th to get it, but they collect it in October. It's always been set at that,
September.
yeah, September, what I say,
Right,
October.
but between September and February is only 5 months. So I just didn't understand why it wouldn't be
Because
March.
March is town meeting.
Oh,
And if you put it, the listers have until
Yeah, you wanna get their money before they vote on the budget.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it's fairly good to have people pay taxes before the town meeting anyway.
Yes. So we can,
You
fund
might be
it.
a little more fired up to go to the meeting.
Yeah, that's very
So
true.
maybe we should have it the last week,
Yeah.
February.
and so you can't do it in August because it doesn't give
That doesn't give the,
enough time to get the bills.
Yeah, because the listers, their things end at the 30th of April, I think it is, or is it March? And then April 1st to however long it takes, and then you have to have a certain amount of days after that you've set the
Yeah.
grand list, or,
For grievance.
for grievance and all that.
Right.
And then,
Yeah, okay.
and then then the
the
people
BCA.
have then BCA, then the people have to have 30 to 60 days residential to get the tax bill, I mean, there's time.
Okay.
pain in the neck.
Yeah, pain in the neck. See, I didn't remember that before, but you got the thinking about it, my memory started kicking in, it was like scary.
It was.
I agree with paying, more than once or twice, twice.
Because if someone wants to pay more just twice, they can, and they can't.
Well, they can
get four.
anyway.
Yeah.
She takes money,
She does, she's
and
great.
hold it for you, yeah. So, anyway, okay, so, let's see. And
Can you see that, please?
we had any more new business
Yes, ma'am.
outside of Sandy's?
Is it 2 separate things, personnel and contractual?
Yes.
So then you have to go in and come
We have to go in and come out, we will.
Go back through it. Do you wanna take public participation before that, or?
Yes, yeah, let's do that. Any public participation? That would be anything on the agenda? Anybody have anything they'd like to talk about that was on the agenda? Okay, moving on, we're going to go into our personnel and then come back out and go into contractual. Okay, go.
Madam Chair.
Yes,
um,
get this down.
I move to find that premature general public knowledge of a pending contract will clearly place the town at a substantial disadvantage by disclosing it at this time.
Okay,
And I move that we enter executive session to discuss this pending contract under the provision of Title I, Section 313A1 of the Vermont statutes.
Second.
Annotated.
all right. Motion's been made and seconded to do all that. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Right.
We went into executive session at
8:59.
8:59, out at 9:26. no action taken.
I don't think so.
Our PA is not on.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Say that again. Say it again.
Okay, we went in at 8:53.
59.
I can't remember from 1 second to the next. And out at 9:26, no action taken. We entered in on a contractual matter with no action taken.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out which one this is.
It's pretty much the same thing. All you have to do is we're going in an executive session.
Which one of these?
And it might only be one motion instead of
it's-
two.
yes,
It's a
I
one
think that-
motion, is it that one or that one?
Because it's a detrimental to the
Evaluation.
town.
Okay, I make the motion that we go into an executive session on evaluation of a public officer or an employee, the disclosure at this time which might be detrimental to the town. This is per 1 VSA 3133A3.
It says all that?
No, I added a couple words, just to make her life interesting.
Okay. Second.
Who
All
seconded?
right, motion's been made and seconded to go in under a personnel matter, blah, blah, you get the wording. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay.
You're ready.
Yeah. Entered into executive session at 9:27. Out of executive session at 10:20. No action taken. We have correspondence. Did I give it to you?
You did give it to me. Of course, you had the call for interest for the VY tour, that was
Yep.
in your thing.
Yep.
The PSD Public Advocacy Division public hearing was sent over by Windham Regional Commission. That they're looking for any comments by November 30th deadline, and the hearing is actually gonna be held on Wednesday, November 18th.
That's day after tomorrow.
Day after
Holy
tomorrow.
crapanola.
Yep, and there is Windham Region towns are invited to a presentation and discussion on municipal shared equipment procurement and other shared services. That is on November 19th, 6 p.m. in Townsend.
Thursday night, actually looks interesting.
Yeah, it did look rather interesting. And then we received a Windham Regional Commission, it looks like kind of like a mission statement that was in your boxes. And I believe that is it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for doing that for me. Future agenda items. Sandy and I received a call from a resident that has, what?
Concerns, serious concerns.
Yes, serious concerns, and, which, I can't talk about out in the public, but, I'd like to put, Leon and Susan Cobb on the agenda for next time. If that'd be okay?
This being December 7th.
Yes.
Okay.
We have a spot where you write that down so we don't forget it when you and I get together
I
late
have it in
on
the
Wednesday
minutes.
night.
I have it in the minutes.
Okay.
You also had this one, Siren?
Yes, I will be receiving a letter from, Mark Gilmore pertaining to the sirens. Whether we wanna keep them or not, we're gonna get a letter, and what I'll do is I'll, scan it at home and send it all to you. So that you have a copy and be prepared for it, because we have to make a decision whether we wanna keep them and maintain them ourselves, so that would go on the agenda for next time as well.
We forgot for this week, Cindy, the time clocks.
Can you speak up? I didn't catch anything.
Well, it was more of a set,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cause we were gonna bring that's right, I'm so sorry.
I
Anne
forgot
Marie.
to.
The time clocks.
And that's
So it'd be Cindy and the time clocks for next time. that way it's on the agenda for, yeah, or in the minutes, so we have them,
Okay, and the storage room is also on there?
yes. Josh, you have anything for the agenda for future?
No.
Jeff, no?
Probably the wrong place to say it, but the craft fair is December 4th and 5th at the school.
That's
What
good.
time?
I'll tell my wife.
4 to
I'll meet her there.
8 on Friday and 9
I'll
to
talk her to
3
give me
on
some of your
Saturday.
wool stuff.
Yeah, she'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's worn that long enough, I'll give it to you. Yeah, that's always something that my granddaughter and I look forward to going to, is the craft fair.
There's one at Eastern States, the day after Thanksgiving.
Is there?
Sure beats Black Friday.
Yep.
I like to spend Black
Okay,
Friday in the pajamas.
anything else for the agenda? Future agenda, I mean, next agenda or thereafter. Perhaps we might wanna, get a good copy of the, articles, and maybe everybody that has been, given a job to do on the on the articles will have the thing, okay?
You had sent around a thing about grants,
Yeah.
Oh,
Remember
that's
that?
right.
Uh-huh.
and it and I think I sent back a comment, but I don't think you answered me
No.
back.
You said you
Um,
hadn't received it.
Well, no, I got I hadn't
mean,
received it,
right.
but when you emailed it, it looks like one of those grants is the municipal grant that, and I thought, and you only can apply for one?
Right.
You only could apply for one, and I think,
That's
but I'm
what
not
I thought.
100% sure, I'll look into that.
But the fire department one would?
No, it was, actually didn't, it was I think the planning commission
Oh, that
has
one, yeah.
applied for one, and that takes us out of the running for any of the others.
Yeah, I think you're right, but.
I'll look into that further.
No media, unless Ian has a question for us. Then, guess what?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Wow. Aye. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.